Dream show getting set for the High Point Rockers, Gastonia Honey Hunters final game of a 3-game set. Javen Blake alongside Kendrick Fruits. As always, Sweet Old Bills is the official pregame hangout of the High Point Rockers. Visit them today at 1232 North Main Street for the best in burgers, Q, and brew. The Honey Hunters come into today 47, 43, and 47, and even 16 and 16 in the second half in 3.5 games back of the High Point Rockers. The Rockers sit at 50 and 41, 19 and 12 in the second half. They're 1 game clear of West Virginia in first place. It's time to go around the Atlantic League, brought to you by Ginny Morrow Cruise Planners, and let's get you all the scores from yesterday. West Virginia and Lexington, a doubleheader. Eli Garcia takes down Eddie Rosario in game number 1, 19-6 the final. Game 2, Joe Testa gets the win for West Virginia. Derek Feldman the loss, 6-2 the power win. Long Island and Southern Maryland, it's the Ducks taking game 2 of the series. Long Island gets the win behind Scott Harkin's 5th win of the season. He's now 5-0. Daryl Thompson picks up just his 3rd loss of the year in the 4-2 final. Rob Griswold, his 3rd save of the season. York and Lancaster, well, didn't finish last night. It was 9-8 in the 11th inning. Ross Peoples, when the rain was threatening to come, called a couple of mound visits to try and see if something could happen. The rain ended up coming, and Lancaster unable to come back in it, though. They fall 9-8 in 11 innings, a game that just finished up a couple of minutes ago. Blake Galen, the loss. Alejandro Rodriguez gets the win. Victor Capellan, his 2nd save of the year. They're currently in a doubleheader, top of 1 in game number 2, and it's the man who started just a couple of days ago. Eduardo Rivera for York. Connor Gann goes for Lancaster, top 1 tied at 0. Middle of the first inning, Max Posey gets the ball for West Virginia. J.J. Hoover gets the start for Lexington. Middle of the first, tied at 0 in the series finale. Delayed due to rain, Long Island and Southern Maryland. They'll try to get underway at some point in the next bit. Pitchers still to be determined, but the Ducks and Blue Crabs are currently battling for first place along with Lancaster, hoping to do business tonight on Central Iceland.
Yeah, it's huge with the Ducks being the half game behind Southern Maryland right now. And one thing I thought of when you were going through the scoreboard, first thing I thought was Max Posey for West Virginia, a guy who's really starting to get stretched out. And you know, he's maybe not quite the caliber of David Kubiak in this league, but he gives him that other starter that they've lost since Kubiak went to Texas, and a guy who can eat up innings in your rotation. In terms of player transactions around the Atlantic League, just one today, but it was a big one. The Long Island Ducks, Vinnie Mazzaro, announced his retirement today. The 34-year-old is hanging up the spikes after a 1-5 season, a 7.68 ERA, 13 appearances, 9 starts. Mazzaro did not start the year with the Ducks. Took a couple of weeks before joining them in mid-season. Last year with Long Island, though, was 11-4, 39 appearances, but was made a starter at the end of the year, made 10 starts. It was a huge part of their postseason run. In his big league career was a career 24-23 with a 4.79 home run average, and all told in his 16 seasons, won 101 games. So from all of us here in High Point, we're wishing Vinnie Mazzaro the best of luck as he goes into the next chapter of his life and post-baseball career. With only one move, we'll take a quick look at the Atlantic League leaders. Nelly Rodriguez from York, the leader in batting average at .264. Caleb Gendel and Joshua Saleh are tied on the home run list at 29. Didn't think that anybody was going to catch Saleh, but Gendel has jumped up there in a hurry. Joshua Saleh, the RBI leader at 81. Tillman Q right behind him at 80. The stolen base leader continues to be Darian Sanford at 55. The wins leader is Daryl Thompson at 11. He also is the ERA leader at 3.04. Henry Owens leads the league in strikeouts at 103. And the leader in saves, Jim Fuller of the Revolution, with 21. The Sweet Old Bills pregame show continues next when we take a look at tonight's starting lineups of the Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Van York Auto.
Batting in right field, number 27, Jay Gonzalez. Batting ninth, the catcher, number 8, Stuart Levy. And pitching tonight for the Rockers, number 33, Mitch Eck. fans, let's give a warm welcome to Teddy and Holden Weaver, all the way from Jacksonville, Florida. This dynamic duo will throw out tonight's ceremonial first pitch. All right, here we go. Here's the windup. It's the sign. Great, right over the middle of the plate.
Welcome back into the Sweet Old Bills pregame show. Time to take a look at tonight's starting lineups manufactured by Colt. First off, for the visiting Gastonia Honey Hunters, Boot Powell, the center fielder, leading off. Alexia Maristo, the shortstop, will bat second. Mike Osinski will play second base today and hit third. Joshua Saleh at third base bats cleanup. Ryan Cordell, the designated hitter, will hit fifth. Emmanuel Tapia draws the start at first base today. He'll bat sixth. Jake Skoll in right field will hit seventh. Mike Pappy in left field hits eighth. The catcher, Jake Romansky, will bat ninth.
My player to watch today is going to be the guy in the 2 spot, Alexei Amarista. He's just gone off this series. 5 for 9 with a homer, 2 runs batted in. It seems that everything he's hit all series long has been hard and nowhere near someone.
I'm looking at Joshua Saleh. He's a guy who we talk about and is capable of hitting home runs every at-bat, but against the Rockers this series, they've been able to keep him in the yard. Yesterday was even hitless, 0 for 2 before departing the game as the designated hitter. So the big thing for me is whether or not the Rockers pitching is able to successfully keep Joshua Saleh in the yard, because that could go a long way to determining how big this offensive output is tonight from Gastonia. Now for the High Point Rockers, and there's a big one that you're going to find in the number 2 spot, a big re-addition, if you will. Leading off, though, in center field is Johnny Field, and he's back after a month on the injured list. Michael Russell has been activated today, will play as the designated hitter, and will bat second. Michael Martinez, the second baseman, hits third. Jerry Downs, the third baseman, or the first baseman, rather, the cleanup hitter. Stephen Cardulo at third base will hit in the number 5 spot. Quincy Lattimore in left field will bat sixth. Giovanni Alfonso, the shortstop, hits seventh. Batting eighth is Jay Gonzalez in right field, and batting ninth and catching is Stuart Levy.
Who else but Michael Russell is the player to watch today? Returns to the lineup after 34 games without being in it and comes back in the number 2 spot, right back in the thick of it before he went in the IL. Was one of, if not the most fun player to watch on this team. Such a great guy, and at the end of the day, in the lineup, re-injects a lot of contact in. It's a team that's had a hard time doing that the last couple of days.
Yeah, I agree. Michael Russell's got to be the guy to watch to see how he looks coming back in, whether there's some rust that needs to be shaken off, or he jumps back in and picks up where he left off. Remember, this is a guy that was hitting 400 in July before his injury. The good thing is you're kind of starting him slowly and letting him DH a little bit before you stick him back in the field. But I think that the other big thing, not just for the addition of Michael Russell himself from a personal standpoint, but then look at what this does to the lineup. You can slide Michael Martinez down. You can move Quincy Lattimore behind Stephen Cardulo. All of a sudden, you're 1 through 6 or 1 through 7 tonight, too, with Giovanni Alfonso. This is production city right here.
And that's the big thing, because it has a little bit of everything. Michael Russell and Giovanni Alfonso are contact guys. Downs is your power guy. Cardulo and Martinez are more of your all-around guys, and Johnny Field leads it off like we've seen all year long of just getting on base. And that's something you want, to get all the way down that lineup, because by the time you can finally breathe, you have to face Jay Gonzalez and Stuart Levy, who we've seen be very hot at times this year.
Absolutely. So I think one of the big things tonight is, again, just sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get a new lineup or new adjustment when you got to move a guy in, and Takes a little getting used to, but hopefully for the Rockers, it's getting used to in a good way and getting used to scoring a lot of runs with a lot of guys on base. The pitching matchup tonight should be a fun one. Mitch Atkins going for the Rockers, 1-1, 4.50 the ERA. John Anderson, a name familiar to those who have been around the Atlantic League, but making his first Atlantic League start of the year. Spent the last 3 seasons with Lancaster when he wasn't pitching in foreign leagues, and this year spent some time in Mexico and is making his first start of the year in the Atlantic League for Gastonia tonight. What do you think we should expect from this pitching matchup?
Well, I think one thing you should probably expect is not a lot of length. Mitch Atkins, we haven't seen him go very long. John Anderson is coming off just a brutal season in Mexico where he averaged just a little more than 2.5 innings per appearance. Made 7 starts in 12 games. The ERA was 10.05, and Mitch Atkins, we've seen it since he's come back from Mexico. He just hasn't been the same pitcher, whether that's injury related, whether that's mechanics related. He's been a guy in tough shape, which would spell good things if he can come back tonight and put in a good start. But I think this is going to be a night where the bullpens are going to be used a good amount, with the fact that these are 2 guys who, frankly, over the past 2 months haven't pitched very much.
Yeah, the big thing about Mitch Atkins that stands out to me is the fact that he's only gone over 5 innings once in his return, or since he's returned from Mexico. John Anderson on the other side, maxed out. His most pitches he's thrown this year is 93. That was back on June 5th. His last start in Mexico on August the 1st, he threw 85 pitches. So I 100% agree. I think length is going to be a big thing. And the good thing for the Rockers, this is a Gastonia pitching staff that is low on guys right now. They have 9 active pitchers on their roster today, and most likely, barring some sort of just incomprehensible scenario, the Euclides Layer will not pitch tonight too, as well as yesterday's starters. So you think realistically, after John Anderson is done, there's only 6 guys Mario Gazzo can choose from.
And this is a bullpen that has always had a tough time getting outs and getting it to Jose. Jose in the 9th inning. Layer was a nice little breather, but today, if Anderson can't go deep, this team's going to be in a lot of trouble.
Absolutely, and this Rockers and Honey Hunters looking to take the series. Both of them have an opportunity with the series split at 1 apiece. Rockers looking to maintain their sole possession of first place. Well, that's about it for the Sweet Old Bills pregame show. So when we come back, it's the Rockers, it's the Honey Hunters, and it's next on the Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Van York Auto.
Your first place, High Point Rockers, let's make some noise. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise. Remove your hats as we honor America and those who protect their freedom with the singing of the Star Spangled Banner. Thank you to Dee Smith for that outstanding rendition.
Well, you might think life's a breeze when you're in first place in your division, but that's far from the case here this season. On a windy day in Truist Point, the Rockers will look to hang on to their one-game advantage, hopefully even improve it to 2 games, depending on how things go across the league. But at the end of the day, the goal is simple. This team needs to win to make it into the postseason as we head almost down to the final stretch. Good evening, everyone. Kendrick Fruits, Javic Blake here with you. As always, as we get set for the final game of this series between the Rockers and Honey Hunters. And the crazy thing is, just 29 games remain before we know the second team in the South Division that's headed to the postseason.
This is what makes every game all that important. It's down to the wire. You're playing your own division. Final game today before a 7-game series against West Virginia. This is the time to build yourself a little bit of a cushion before that series gets started, and they can do it today and win another home series against Gastonia.
The Rockers have not lost 2 games in a row to Gastonia since they lost 3 straight, going from 7-28 to the 28th, 29th, and then one on the 24th of August. Those 3 consecutive games against Gastonia. The Rockers looking to get back to their winning ways against their in-state rivals. Before yesterday's loss, they had won the last 6 between the two. The lineup again for the Honey Hunters: Powell, Amarista, Osinski, Saleh, Cordell, Tapia, Skoll, Pappy, and Romansky. And for the Rockers on the mound, it's the right-hander Mitch Atkins, 1-1. The ERA 4.50, coming off of a start where he struggled against West Virginia. 7 innings and just 2 runs through 59 pitches in that one. And really, you look at his 4 starts since coming back from Mexico, he's only gotten out of the 4th inning only 1 time. That was a 6-inning loss to Lexington, which was arguably his best start since coming back. 2 runs in 6 innings. And he's kind of a wild card tonight. Not really sure how much we're going to get out of him in terms of length. But they'll ride him as long as they can. Atkins looks in, gets the sign from Levy. And the righty kicks and fires. Fastball called strike. We're underway here at Truist Point.
First pitch time today, 7:05 p.m. The weather's 74 degrees and sunny. Wind out to left at 5 miles an hour.
Atkins delivers the 0-1 fastball. A little blooper into center field. This one's going to fall in front of Johnny Field. Nobody was going to be able to get to that one. And a little dinker to start the day off for Boog Powell. He's on first base with nobody out.
As always, first pitch time and weather brought to you by Old Dominion Freight Line. ODFL, helping the world keep promises.
Brings up Alexi Amarista. Amarista comes in playing shortstop today. Ryan Jackson's getting the day off. He launched his first Atlantic League home run of the year yesterday. A home run, 2 runs batted in now for Amarista. Powell takes his lead off of first base. Atkins comes set, checks over to first. Powell's back in. You got to keep an eye on him. He's second in the Atlantic League in stolen bases with 30. Atkins ready. First pitch coming to Amarista, the shortstop. That's a fastball, and it's just outside. Count 1-0. Rockers today, once again, going with the all-white uniform, white pants, white jerseys, Rockers across the front, blue numbering on the back. They go with the blue cap today with the blue bill. For Gastonia, it's the gray pants, gray jerseys, black numbering and lettering with a gold trim, black hat with a black bill. 1-0 is outside. Levy had to slide out to catch it into the right-handed batter's box, and the count 2-0 to Amarista. Well, the wind was swaying and blowing all over the place this afternoon, and up until the national anthem, really, right now it's almost completely still out there. The flags are. Another check over to first base on Powell.
Turns it into even more beautiful night without the wind. Just a gorgeous day, 75 degrees and sunny. It's one of those picture-perfect September days.
So picture-perfect, they took the team photos today. Here's the pitch to Amarista, the 2-0, missed outside, and the count 3 balls, no strikes. It's kind of an evening where you look out around the crowd, you see a couple of hoodies and a couple of sweatshirts. Enjoy it while it lasts. It's getting back up to the 90s next week. Here's the 3-0, and that's outside, ball 4, a 4-pitch walk to Amarista. So after a bloop single, Atkins has a hard time finding the strike zone. There's 2 aboard for Mike Osinski with nobody out.
And this now makes it 4 straight games that the first 2 batters reach base for the opposing team in the first inning.
Second baseman,
Really kind of putting themselves at a disadvantage.
The Rockers have been a team that usually just allows the first run. 6 straight games they've allowed the first run. Miraculously, they're 3-3 in the 6 games.
I think the big reason for that is they allow run singular most of the time. That pitch is strike, and the count 0-1. Because when you allow multiple runs, for example, when they gave up a 4 spot in the first inning a couple of days ago, that's where you run into trouble.
They also have an incredible bullpen that basically shuts teams down from innings 5 to 9 and gives them a chance to come back.
Atkins takes a long peer in. Now comes set just above the belt. Here's the 0-1 curveball. That drops in for a strike, and the count 0-2. Home plate umpire tonight, Owen Ballard IV. Jeffrey Sumter is down the first base side, and Julius Green will be the third base umpire today. Here comes the 0-2, another curveball swing and a miss, strike 3. Osinski chases down and away, and that is the first out of the inning. Brings up Joshua Saleh.
third baseman, number 28.
Here comes the big power hitter leading the Atlantic League in home runs and RBIs, but don't look now. He's tied for the league lead in home runs now with Caleb Gendel, and also Tillman Pugh just 1 RBI off of Saleh's pace. It's because while both of them have been racking up big numbers this week, Saleh has not hit a home run nor driven in a run in the first 2 games of this series. Takes a curveball strike from Atkins, 0-1 to count.
Saleh's hit a couple of balls hard this week. The only thing is he's not playing at Ceremonial Health Park. He's playing at Truist Point, where if you're a pitcher, you've fallen in love with how this place just contains every fly ball.
Here's the 0-1. Fastball popped up out of play. Saleh chased what was probably ball 2. And the count 0-2. Most of the field is in the shade except for a couple of patches. There's one kind of in between third base and shortstop, and then one right at the top of the Truist Point logo in center field. Otherwise, looks like shade all the way around the ballpark. Here's the 0-2 to Saleh. Curveball. They're going to go down and no. Julius Green said Saleh did not go. It looked like it was almost an entire swing.
I know they made the rules more batter-friendly on check swings this year, but that was one of those where Mitch Atkins and Stuart Levy both thought it was strike 3, and Levy was ready to pop up and throw down.
There have been check swings less than that have been called strikes this year.
But what a filthy pitch from Atkins either way.
Atkins comes set. Here's a 1-2 to Saleh. Fastball, swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him with the high fastball. And I think the big key there is the pitch sequence. You go down and away something low, and then all of a sudden you ramp it back up with the fastball high.
Let's get the Rockers' defensive alignment. Quincy Lattimore in left, Johnny Field in center, Jay Gonzalez in right, third, first round the infield, Stephen Cardullo, Giovanni Alfonso, Michael Martinez, and Jerry Downs, Stuart Levy behind home plate.
The former big leaguer Ryan Cordell steps in, 273, 5 home runs, 15 batted in. Atkins comes set, and timeout called. Well, in his last start, the game plan was to get him about 60 pitches. So you got to think if they're kind of treating it almost as if he's coming back from the spring training or an off season, you got to think we're looking 75, 80 potentially today. First pitch to Cordell popped up out of play, and the count is 0-1. That is provided that everything felt okay for him in his last start.
Everything looked good. The only thing was he just left a couple balls high in the zone, and that's where West Virginia got to him. They're also a team that's owned him all year long. This is the first time he's faced Gastonia, and it's probably the biggest guy Gastonia's faced that has the best control.
Let me come back to that subject in just a moment, because I think that's a huge thing that you just hit on. That's down low in the count, 1-1. Something that Jamie Keefe told me in the pregame interview yesterday, and something that Bryce Hensley even told me today. They said, hey, look, it's no secret what we have, what our pitchers throw. Well, there is one guy who still is a secret to this team, and that's the man on the mound, and Mitch Atkins. So at least for tonight, I think that's a huge advantage for High Point.
Well, that's a huge thing. 22nd game, and both teams are seeing a guy for the first time. That's where the pitching comes and has some fun with things.
Atkins comes set. Here comes the 1-1. The righty fires a fastball, and that stays just away in the count, 2 balls and a strike. After the first 2 Honey Hunters reach base, Atkins has struck out the next 2. 2 former big leaguers squaring off here between Atkins and Cordell. Here comes the 2-1. Slider hit into left field. That's a base hit. They're waving Powell around. Here comes the throw from Lattimore. It's going to be cut off. Missed the cutoff man, but it's blocked by the catcher Levy. It's an RBI single from Ryan Cordell. Powell scores the first run of the ball game. It's 1-0 Gastonia. For Cordell, RBI number 16. Heading to second base and holding there is Alexi Amarista. Brings up Emmanuel Tapia, did not play yesterday. Draws the assignment at first base today. 269, 14 home runs, and 40 batted in.
Here, you will receive 1 crease ball. Grip coffee, head to beat, espresso. First baseman, Emmanuel Tapia.
Atkins wanting to hold the damage to just 1 run in the first inning. Fastball to Tapia. Doesn't get the call, ball 1. Even though the runs come in the first inning, I feel like he looks a lot better than what we saw at West Virginia over the weekend.
He looks a lot more in control, which is a big thing.
Atkins comes set. Here comes the 1-0. Both runners fake as if they're going to go. They don't, and the pitch fouled off down the right field side, 1-1. Mitch has been on the mound for 2 of the bigger Rockers games of the year. One in Long Island in which he went 8 innings. Gave up just a couple of runs. It was probably the defining start of the first half of the year, or at least the first month of the year. That and Westfall's 7 shutout innings against Lexington. Fastball inside, and the count 2-1. Also, he got the ball for the home opener this year against Lancaster. Picked up the victory in that one. He didn't, the team did, but he kept them in it and allowed the offense to come around later on. That's the story of the Rockers season right there. The starter keeps you in it, and then the offense comes around late. Wind blowing out towards right center now. Here comes the 2-1 to Tapia. Curveball, that drops in for a strike 2-2. Curveball's been a really good pitch here in the first inning for Atkins. It's not always been a strike, but it's at least looked like a strike and been able to get some guys to chase as well. Atkins stepped off for a moment and told Levy to go through the signs again. Now he comes set. Here comes the 2-2 to Tapia. Another curveball. This one is strike 3. It catches the outside of the plate. And that's going to ring up Emmanuel Tapia. So 3 strikeouts in the inning for Mitch Atkins. 1 run does come in. And Gastonia leads it 1-0. We head to the second, or bottom of the first rather, on the Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Van York Auto.
All right, fans, St. Farm Equipment would like to help us welcome the one, the only, Hype the Rocking Horse. Here he comes, rounding the warning track with his best friend, Shane and Nicole. Put your hands together, cheer them on as they make their way around the field. For all of your farm equipment needs, be sure to visit St. Farm Equipment in Lexington, North Carolina. Hey, Rockers fans, let's make some noise for Hype. Serves as a perfect representation of the city's vision to pursue new heights. We invite you to set your sights on the horizon that lay ahead. With weddings to corporate events, birthday parties and more. With outside catering provided and the highest attention to detail, we look forward to working with you to ensure your vision becomes reality.
Bottom of the first inning, Gastonia with an early 1-0 lead over the Rockers. Again, the High Point lineup is Field. Michael Russell makes his return tonight, batting second. Then it's Martinez, Downs, Cardullo, Lattimore, Alfonso, Gonzalez, and Levy. On the mound today for Gastonia, it's John Anderson making his first start of the Atlantic League season. Gastonia has brought a couple of former Atlantic League veterans back in the last few days. Alexi Amarista over the weekend, John Anderson today. Anderson was 11-8 with a 3.83 earned run average for the Barnstormers in 2019. In 3 seasons with Lancaster, 20-12 was the record. His first year, though, 59 appearances, only 1 start. And as those years went by, he ended up starting more and more games until last year. He started 25 of his 30. Anderson's first pitch, fastball inside to Johnny Field, count 1-0. Was drafted by the Toronto Blue Jays in 2008, reached as high as AAA. He's been a veteran of the pro baseball scene for quite a while, though. That pitch inside the field, 2 balls, no strikes. But much like we talked about with Mitch Atkins against Gastonia in the top of the inning, John Anderson's a mystery to a lot of these guys as well. The 2-0, fastball up and in, and the count 3-0.
It's such a huge addition, though, for Gastonia to get Anderson, because this is a team that has really struggled in the pitching department and brings a lot of stability.
You kind of get the feeling as he delivers the 3-0. That's a called strike, 3-1. Even though A.J. Merkel has been serviceable recently and really has been solid, you kind of get the feeling that John Anderson instantly slides in and becomes the ace of this rotation. The 3-1, Field pops it up, right side, gets out of play, and the count full. And you can get the equivalent of a staff ace with a month of the season left. That's a huge get.
Well, I will. I was looking for a little boy with a Braves jersey.
No, he's not missing up here.
Field steps back into the right-handed box. Anderson delivers the 3-2. Fastball popped up to foul territory. Tapia going towards the line, now towards the stands, and the ball falls right in front of him. I don't know, Tapia lost it for a moment or thought it wasn't going to be catchable, but it just dropped right in front of him. Johnny Field gets a break there. Steps back into the right-handed box now. Anderson peers in. And here's another 3-2. Curveball, and that is strike 3 looking. Johnny Field is already on his way back to the dugout before he was rung up by Owen Ballard. Let's go ahead and set the defense for you for the Gastonia Honey Hunters.
Mike Pappy in left, Luke Powell in center, Jake Skoll in right, first to third around the infield, Emmanuel Tapia, Mike Osinski, Alexei Marista, and Joshua Salme, Jake Romansky behind home plate.
Michael Russell.
Now batting here for the Rockers, it's Michael Russell for the first time since being put on the injured list on July 30th. Michael Russell stands in a professional batter's box and fouls the first pitch off, count 0-1. He's smiling big right there. You can tell this is a guy who, long story short, there's no doubt about it, he was anxious and ready to go today. Here comes the 0-1 curveball, and that's a strike, and Russell quickly down in the count 0-2. Russell's hitting at 345, 5 home runs, or excuse me, 351, 5 home runs, and 27 batted in. Way high on the fastball is Anderson, and the count is 1-2. Michael Russell was third in the league in batting average at the time of his injury. He'll need some at-bats to get back into qualifying for it, but would slide into about fourth right now. Swings, ground ball into left field. That's a base hit. Michael Russell rounding first, heading towards second. Here comes the throw. Russell slides head first. He's safe with a double. Well, welcome back, Michael Russell. He's on second with 1 out.
That's the type of hitting that this Rockers offense is so happy to have back. Just waited back on a pitch, ripped it down the line, just barely snuck it in past third. With Russell's speed, gives him an easy sliding double.
Second baseman, number 19.
Now the Rockers have a runner in scoring position for Michael Martinez, who steps into the right-handed batter's box with the left-handed pitcher. Martinez 1 for 4 yesterday, hitting .320, a couple of home runs, and 17 batted in. First pitch fastball from Anderson, stays away, 1-0. You can tell, though, if you look at Michael Russell's helmet, he's got the new flap in front of his left cheek. That'll protect him when sliding headfirst into third base. That pitch a strike to Martinez, and the count 1-1 would keep him from getting hit there again, and also as a double bonus, it's the cheekbone that's facing the pitcher, so you get a little protection standing in the box as well. Anderson set. Here's the 1-1 to Martinez. Curveball, swing, and a miss. Count 1-2. Sunset here at Truist Point in about 15 minutes. A little less than that. Continue to get earlier and earlier as we get later into September. Here's the 1-2 to Martinez. Fastball inside. Count 2-2.
How'd the board meeting go?
And by the time that we get into the postseason, if in fact the Rockers grab a postseason spot, it'll be about dark by the time first pitch comes. Here's the 2-2 to Martinez. Off speed, down and in, and the count goes full.
Yeah. So Jamie.
Anderson 9 strikes in his first 16 pitches. He's gone to a 3-2 count now in 2 of the 3 hitters he did with Johnny Field as well. Here comes the 3-2 to Martinez. Russell takes his lead off of second. And Anderson steps off and looks Russell back to the bag. Nobody was there to cover a throw. Russell goes back and taps the toe on the bag just in case. Here comes the 3-2 now to Russell, or to Martinez rather. Fastball downstairs, ball 4. And the Rockers have 2 aboard with 1 out for Jerry Downs. Jerry Downs, 321, 17 home runs, 63 batted in. The guy who's has RBI total pretty evenly split. However, most of his home runs come on the road. 12 out of 17 this year. Rockers don't care how he gets the guys in, so long as he does it.
Wow. Which one? The Bison?
Anderson delivers. First pitch to Jerry Downs is a fastball, and it stays just away. Count 1-0.
What'd you eat for dinner tonight?
Big thing about adding Michael Russell into that 2 spot. You have a very formidable power alley of your own now coming here in 3, 4, 5. 4, 5, 6 tonight, actually, as Romanski goes out to talk to Anderson. But you have Jerry Downs in the 4 spot. You have Cardullo right behind him in the 5. You follow that up with Quincy Lattimore. That's 3 guys with 20-plus home run power.
He's a bad boy. It ain't a problem for him.
And it helps when you get in a situation where you get the hitting going, and then all of a sudden it's guy after guy after guy after guy. And for a lineup that isn't probably top 3 in the league, it vaults him right up into the category of pretty good with an absolutely terrific pitching staff.
Anderson, as soon as play was resumed, instantly stepped on and off of the mound. Now is back on again.
Elk's okay. Bison's a lot better, but we killed one of those.
And here comes the pitch. Runners go. That's down low. The throw goes to second, and it's knocked down by Osinski. The ball got away from him. It was not a great throw from Romanski. Both runners are safe. Michael Russell is in at third base with the steal. Michael Martinez is in at second with the steal. I'll tell you what, Mike Osinski's lucky to even have gotten a piece of that ball. He was very late in getting to the bag. And for Michael Russell, that's stolen base number 14 for Russell, and for Michael Martinez, that is his third. Here comes the 2-0. Little weak swing towards third base. Saleh comes in, and there is no play. Runners are safe. It was a weak bouncer on a check swing from Jerry Downs. Russell was full sprint on contact. He scores easily. Nobody was covering third, so Martinez made it easily, and I think there was some confusion between Saleh and Anderson as far as who was going to get that ball.
The big thing is Jerry Downs has sneaky fast speed just because Downs is a big guy down at first, 6'2", 215. He can get down that line in a hurry, and a little dribbler opened everything up to tie this ball game.
That's RBI number 64 for Jerry Downs.
They'll freeze at 30 degrees.
Stephen Cardullo comes up, 292, 12 home runs, and 52 batted in. First pitch fastball down low, and the count 1-0.
That Bison.
Well, if you're a fan of Bison, you're getting
good, fascinating conversation going on currently.
How to store them, how to cook them. Have you ever had bison burger before?
I have.
And then when they
Here comes the 1-0 to Cardullo.
get all the bones
Like a
out,
change up, strike at the knees, and the count 1-1.
and then the elk will be about 300 pounds.
It's a lot of pounds of meat. That's all I'm hearing right now.
500-600 pounds.
Runners at the quarters with 1 out.
Quarter of it to the guide,
And here's the 1-1. Fastball, that's downstairs. And the count is 2 balls and a strike now to Cardullo. And this is where Anderson could get in a little bit of trouble, getting behind to these 4, 5, and 6 hitters in the Rockers lineup. Stephen Cardullo yesterday was 1 for 4 with a double. Anderson's now up at 22 pitches, 11 of which have been strikes. Here's the 2-1. Fastball, Cardullo swings, high fly ball deep into left center field. Powell is going back at the track and makes the catch with his back to the wall. Martinez will come in and score. Downs has to stay at first. And Cardullo with the sacrifice fly puts the Rockers on top 2-1 on a ball that gets out just about anywhere else.
That would have been insane. He thought it was gone by his reaction.
That'll bring up Quincy Lattimore now. Rockers with a 2-1 lead. Cardullo, that's RBI number 53, and that'll bring up Quincy Lattimore, who was 0 for 3 with a walk yesterday. That ball was hit a long way, but there's those two little nooks in the left center field alley and the right center field alley. That's the only place that what would basically be a certain home run anywhere else just stays in, as the first pitch to Lattimore is a strike.
He's really lost a lot of weight.
Anderson comes set. Here comes the 0-1. Another fastball. This one's inside, just about got Quincy. And the count 1-1. Downs the runner at first base, 2 outs. Anderson comes set. Here comes the 1-1. High fastball again. And the count 2-1. Well, he's been sitting right about 50% on his strike rate. But the misses sometimes have missed by a large margin, way down in the dirt or way up and in to these right-handed hitters. Here's the pitch. Fastball hit on the ground towards short. Amarista picks it up, goes the short way to second, and that will do it for the Rockers in the bottom of the first inning, but not before they pick up 2 runs to take a 2-1 lead, and it was all started by Michael Russell in his first game back from the injured list, who got it going with the double. Rockers lead it 2-1 to the top of the second we go on the Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Van York Auto.
Your health is our concern. Hey, Rockers Nation, turn your attention to the Jumbo Trotter one special fan enter the Blue Ridge Trivia question of the night. Need your help turning them on as they put their knowledge to the test. All right, Shaylin, take it away.
Okay, Rockers Nation, I am with my friend Casey here on the third base dugout, and she is going to answer all the Kardashians you know in 20 seconds. Go. Kendall, or Louise Courtney, and Rob, Chris, Kylie, Stormy, Melanie,
100.
Rob.
I can't believe you're a Biden fan now.
Okay, so many.
That's what you are.
No
No chance. You missed his interview last night. His interview last night is, I think people should do it because it's a free country. Do what you think's best for you.
It's got to be okay, right?
This is free. You're supposed to have freedoms.
Okay, let's make some noise for Kaylee. She won. Absolutely fantastic. Great job.
I'll wind up doing it. Sure. I'll have to.
Celebrating their 20th year, providing high-quality housing.
Top of the second inning, Rockers now with a 2-1 advantage over the Gastonia Honey Hunters after 2 runs in the bottom of the first inning. And Mitch Atkins back out on the mound now with the lead, and he'll be facing the bottom 3 in the lineup, Skoll, Pappy, and Romansky, the 3 scheduled hitters for Gastonia. Jake Skoll did not play yesterday, but the first member of the 2020 club in the Atlantic League this year. 20 home runs, 23 stolen bases is where he is currently sitting on the year. And he'll step into the left-handed batter's box. Skoll, Pappy, Romansky, it's a couple left-handed hitters, and then the right-handed
You know why he
Romansky.
did that today, Corey? Do you think he did it because he really feels like he wants to save an
And
inning?
here is the first pitch coming to Skoll. Fastball, that's upstairs, and the count 1-0 from Atkins. Mitch Atkins starting the inning at 22 pitches through 13 strikes in the first inning of work.
They're not even
And
talking.
here comes the 1-0. Skoll pops it up, gets out of play in the count 1-1.
He actually praised the Taliban.
Well, this is where I'm
and criticized
really
them.
interested to see as far as how
They're
Mitch
great for allowing
Atkins,
these 200 Americans to come home.
with the lead, how
When
he
it was
looks
actually the State
here in the second inning.
Department preventing them from coming home. And then they blamed it on the Taliban, and then the State Department let them come home, and then they said, oh, look how great the Taliban is. But you
Here's
feel
the
it because you hadn't been vaccinated.
1-1. That pitch fouled off. And the count now a ball and 2 strikes.
What's that?
Mitch Atkins, not a particularly quick worker. They're giving home plate umpire Owen Ballard a moment. That ball might have clipped him.
I wouldn't punch him. It's too old. I'd put him in a chicken wing and make him.
Here is the 1-2 curveball. That's a good looking pitch from Mitch Atkins. And it wasn't going to be called a strike, but that's a pitch you could usually get somebody to chase.
Well, and that's what has been so good for Mitch Atkins today. He's really used that pitch to set up the fastball high and get some swings and misses.
Here's the pitch down low in the dirt. That one fell a little short of the plate in the count 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Here at the top of the second, Rockers with a 2-1 lead. That pitch swung on line right field. That is a foul ball. Jake Skoll probably would have been looking at a triple had that ball been called fair. And so the count is still 2-2.
Well, and it's a 2-2 count, and he has to walk all the way back from about 3/4 of the way to second, all the way back to the plate.
And Stuart Levy was nice and set the bat up at the plate so Jake Skoll could pick it up on his way back. Left-handed hitter steps back into the box, and here comes the 2-2. That one swung on and lined into right center field. Might split the outfielders unless they can cut it off. Johnny Field does. Heading to second is Skoll. Field airmails it into the middle of the infield where Mitch Atkins knocks it down, but it is a double for Jake Skoll to lead off the second inning, and something we saw a lot yesterday. Gastonia seemed to have no trouble putting the leadoff man aboard.
Left fielder.
Brings up the left fielder, Mike Pappy, did not play yesterday. Another guy with power in this lineup. 248, 14 home runs, 59 batted in. I mean, you look up and down this lineup, the only guys that don't have double digits in home runs are Ryan Cordell, who's not been here very long, but he'll have it by the end of the season. Boog Powell, that probably will, as Pappy shows bunt, that's down and in. And then Alexi Amarista, who's been here, 5 games, and then Jake Romansky, who's not been a full-time player. But just up and down this lineup, 14 home runs, 15, 16, 17, and everybody's got 45 RBIs.
What'd you think?
Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss late on the fastball, looks like. Count 1-1.
Idaho Falls.
Lights are on here at Truist Point. Getting into, say, mid to late sunset.
Did he show you a picture of the bison?
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute, not the bison.
And here comes the 1-1 curveball, swing and a miss. That's that really nasty curveball that nobody has hit yet today.
2,400 pounds.
Count 1-2 to Atkins.
Last time I shot him, because it takes more than one, he was coming at us. And it was the last bullet I had.
Pappy stands into the left-handed box.
The guy and I split up to sort of corral him.
And here's the 1-2 fastball. That's lined into right center field, and that's going to split the outfielders. Skoll will score easily. And fumbling the ball in right field is Jay Gonzalez. Throw comes into second base. It's an RBI double for Mike Pappy.
Yeah, you would have. That'd have been a little greasy spot.
And now we are tied at 2. Still nobody out in the second inning. And that's kind of the one thing for Mitch Atkins. You get 2 strikes on the hitter, But you don't put him away. That's where you run into trouble.
Good piece of hitting there from Mike Pappy. Just lined it into the gap, and easy way to get a run home from Gastonia, that's for sure.
Brings up the number 9 hitter, Jake Romanski.
And it hits the spinal cord. And I thought I hit
Romanski did not play yesterday, was the starter in game 1.
Then he gets up.
Runner on second base, nobody out.
Then he took off running, and by the time we could get within range again, it was another mile and a half.
Atkins comes set. Here's the pitch.
Going up the hill, shooting 2 more times in the vitals.
And that pitch will miss outside in the count 1-0.
If he dies on the side of that, we'll never get it. So we let him clear the top, and we went around another mile and a half. I said, dude, we're going to chase this guy all day. You go
Pappy
that
takes
way,
his lead off
I'm
of
going
second
this way.
base.
When you get over there, make a lot of racket steering towards
Atkins
us.
looking for the first out of the inning. Here comes
Thing comes
the 1-0.
towards us, he's probably
There's a
80
strike up at the top of the zone. The count 1-1.
Last one dropped.
Honestly, these conversations are absolutely fascinating. Like, I am enthralled by what's happening currently.
I can't hardly focus. Here's the pitch, the 1-1. That's hit, and it's going to get past Michael Martinez into right field, base hit, and Jay Gonzalez overruns the ball. Coming in and scoring is Mike Pappy on what should be a single and an error. And Gastonia grabs the lead 3-2. I don't guess that'll be a run batted in. A throw from
Jim, my son shot the hell.
Jay Gonzalez would have been in time. We'll see how that gets scored, but I'm guessing it will not be a run batted in. Frank Viola going out now to talk to Mitch Atkins. First 3 hitters this inning have reached base, and that continues that trend we talked about the last half inning where Gastonia just puts multiple guys aboard at the beginning of the inning.
From him to him. I got it before and after. This is when we
Atkins is
scouted
up
him
at
out.
36
I got
pitches
that,
now.
And then the next morning we killed him. I know, that'd be cool.
And that is a hit and an error. Pappy comes home on the 3rd error of the year from Jay Gonzalez, and that's just a tough play. Completely overran it. And after that, Pappy comes home easily.
And the tough part about that is the fact that Gonzalez has only been here for about a month, and that's 3 defensive errors for a guy who's not been playing every day. Frank Viola heads back to the Rockers dugout as the top of the lineup comes up. It's Boone Powell.
You know what? What I could do is I could take some of that bison meat over to Andrews and they could cook
Here's the
it
first
and eat
pitch
it
coming
the
to
way they
Powell.
play.
Fastball, that's down and away, and the count 1-0. Romanski, the runner at first base, does not get an RBI for bringing in Pappy. 2 runs have come across for the Honey Hunters, and they've regained the lead 3-2. Here comes the 1-0 to Powell. Fastball fouled up over the netting behind the plate, and the count 1-1.
Coy, did you see what the NAACP asked City Council to do? About apologizing. Are they going to do that?
Atkins comes set,
If you apologize, you admit.
and that's a curveball in there for a strike, count 1-2. Here comes the 1-2 curveball. That's hit down the left field side. It's going to go foul. And it will get out of play, and the count will stay 1-2. That's the first time I think anybody's made contact of the curveball for Mitch Atkins. He comes set, and here comes the pitch. Fastball hit on the ground, bat goes flying. Michael Martinez tags Romanski, throws on to first base in time. That's a double play. Broken bat, though, was hurtling at Mitch Atkins' head, and what a play for Mitch to get out of it, to get out of the way, and what a play for Michael Martinez to have the wherewithal to field the ball, make the tag, and then throw to first.
Well, and that's that big league second baseman right there, just doing everything, making the quick tag and the throw to first. And Boo Powell's maybe the toughest guy to get in a play like that in the whole league. Made it look easy.
I'll bring up Alexi Amarista, who is the second baseman, or shortstop today. He walked in his first at-bat. And here comes the first pitch to him. Slider, strike at the knees, count is 0-1. Well, now that you've cleared the bases, there's 2 outs. Hopefully that kind of gives Mitch Atkins a chance to settle down a little bit. Pitch just misses, the count 1-1. Atkins delivers the 0-1, swung on, hit on the ground towards second. Martinez right there, and throws on to first in time, final out of the inning. But 2 runs come across for the Honey Hunters. They take a 3-2 lead over the Rockers as we go to the bottom of the second. The Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Van York Auto.
Community college offers a great education, while offering quality, affordability, and support. Choose GTTC. Choose success. Learn more at www.gttcc.edu today. Today's post-game meal is provided by Rickster Grill. Make sure to visit Rickster Grill, the official post-game hangout of the High Point Rockers. Visit them tonight at 3815 Tipley Drive in High Point. Fans, join us Saturday, September 11th, starting at 6:30 a.m. to partake in a stair climb with the fire department to honor the lives of firefighters lost in the World Trade Center. Get your running shoes ready for the Heroes 5K at 11 a.m. Registration is currently open, with portions of each registration going to charity to benefit. With a special guest dinner at 5 p.m.
Bottom of the second inning, the Gastonia Honey Hunters with a 3-2 lead over the Rockers. They picked up a run in the first, 2 runs in the second. And the Rockers, who scored 2 in the first inning, are going to look to counter that here in the bottom of the second inning. For the Rockers, it'll be 7, 8, and 9 in the lineup. It's Giovanni Alfonso, Jay Gonzalez, and Stuart Levy, the 3 scheduled hitters for High Point. Alfonso strides to the plate, 286, 2 home runs, and 45 batted in yesterday. Did not start yesterday, but came in as a pinch hitter. And here comes the pitch. That's upstairs, and the count 1-0.
Shortstop, Giovanni
Alfonso at the shortstop position today. DiSarcina, the shortstop yesterday. Here's the pitch. That's downstairs, and the count 1-1. Giovanni Alfonso, 1 out of 3 new shirts that have been put in the team store, and they look like the blue jerseys, except from the back where it says Rockers on those blue jerseys. It has the player name. That pitch a strike, and the count 1-2 to Alfonso. Check that, the count is 2-1. Alfonso has 1, Bryce Hensley has 1, and of course Hype has 1 as well. That pitch downstairs, and the count 2-2.
Go, Gio.
Down to the team store, and I made sure I got a couple of those today. Some of the new additions, as well as there's some new hats in the team store. So if you get out here, you certainly want to make sure you check out some of the new merch in the team store. Here's the 2-2. That's downstairs. Must have been 3-2. It was 3-2, and that is ball 4. Alfonso heads down to first base. That'll bring up Jay Gonzalez, who's looking to make up for the defensive error he made in the top of the inning. Gonzalez hitting at 225, 2 home runs, and 9 batted in. Both of his 2 home runs have come on the road, as have Alfonso's. First pitch from Anderson's a fastball. Gonzalez looked as if he were going to bunt, pulled back, and the pitch called a ball. Well, the Wake Forest Baptist Health Injury Report, now that we can remove Michael Russell from it, for the moment, it's clean, and that's really where you want to be coming into the postseason stretch run. Comes the 1-0 fastball. That stays just outside, count 2-0. The Rockers are already 1 hit away from matching their hit total from yesterday. The 2-0 to Gonzalez takes a fastball strike, count 2-1. And even though you've got some longtime pro veterans on the mound today in Atkins and Anderson, you kind of get the feeling that this one looks like a toss-up. Could be anyone's game today, as both offenses have shown the ability to score early today. Check over to first base on Alfonso, was kind of dancing around there off of the first base bag. He's back standing. Anderson comes set. Here comes the 2-1. When a slider called a strike up at the top of the zone.
We've seen that high strike get called really all series long. You can kind of sort of drop it in there and just bite the top.
Jay Gonzalez is tied with Michael Martinez for being the shortest position player on the team. Check over to first base. Alfonso scrambles back in. Anderson takes a long look in, gets the sign from Romanski. Here comes the pitch. Fastball, that's away in the count 3-2. Well, I'll have to look and see what happens when Levy comes up. In the first inning when I looked at Anderson, he was working on the first base side of the rubber. Here for Gonzalez, he's working on the second. Now I want to see if that's a change, or the third base side. I want to see if that's a change that he made from first inning to second inning, or whether that's a left-hander to right-hander change that he makes. Here's the 3-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 on the pitch down. No, they're going to say that Gonzalez got a piece of it. He just stayed alive, and the count stays full. Romanski slams his fist into his catcher's mitt. He wasn't able to hang on to it for what would have been the final out.
Not often.
Here comes a 3-2.
Sometime.
Runner goes. Here's the pitch. Swung on, popped up into left center field. Alfonso's having to head back to first as Pappy is there, puts it away, and that is out
Nice
number
night,
1.
though, temperature-wise. Beautiful.
That'll bring up Stuart Levy, the catcher. Levy was 0 for 3 yesterday and has seen the average dip back down below 240. It's now 238, 9 home runs, and 46 batted in.
I figured it was probably raining over here too. Then I checked the radar and it didn't look like it.
Levy steps into the right-handed box. Anderson is back on the third base side of the rubber, so that is a change that he has made from the first inning to the second. Here's the pitch, fastball, hit on the ground, and Anderson, nice play, picks it up, throws to second for 1. That's all they'll get. It was a slow bouncer, kind of in between third base and the pitcher's mound. Anderson pounced on it and turned around to second to get the lead runner, but that's all they were going to get.
It's a really good play, though, by Anderson. Pops off the mound quickly and goes to second. And that's a situation where that's all you kind of need. Get an out, keep it Levy at first, and then go back to the top of the order.
I certainly don't say this as a slight to Stuart Levy, but you kind of get rid of more of that speed that was on first base in Giovanni Alfonso. First pitch fastball to Johnny Field, that's a strike, and the count 0-1. Levy takes his lead off of first base, adjusting the oven mitt he's wearing in his right hand. Comes the 0-1, that's downstairs, and the count 1-1. It was the slider from Anderson that stayed down and away to the right-handed hitter. Solid crowd here tonight on Thursday night. Fans are out enjoying dollar beer night at the ballpark. Good way to get your weekend started a little bit early. Comes the 1-1 to Field. Fastball tips it into the glove of Romansky, 1-2. This is the final night where the Rockers and Honey Hunters will play at Truist Point this year. It's been a long summer, and they've been battling together for a lot of it. And next week at Ceremonial Health Park will be the last time they face it all this year. Field swings, line drive, right field. It's hooking foul, but it stays fair. Johnny Field on his way to second. Stuart Levy is being waved around by Jamie Keefe. Here comes the throw to the plate. No, it's going to go into third to try to get Field. The throw goes away. Here comes Johnny Field. He's coming home. He's going to score. Johnny Field and Stuart Levy both come around and score. The Rockers take a 4-3 lead. See if Field gets a double or a triple out of it. He will get the RBI. And there'll be an error that allows Field to come in and score. We'll figure out all the details in a moment, but the important thing is both runs score. And the Rockers have a 4-3 lead as Michael Russell steps up to the plate. Russell swings, ground ball right down the third base side. Saleh backhands it behind the back. The throw home, or throw to the first base rather, is in time by a step. It almost looked as if Michael Russell was going to have his second hit right down the third base line, but a good play from Saleh retires him. That's it, though, for the Rockers in the bottom of the second. 2 runs come across and score. They take a 4-3 lead on the Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Van York Auto.
All right, Rockers fans, it's time to dance to the Rock 92 dance camp. Show us your skill.
Top of the third inning, Rockers are on top by a score of 4-3. We got the scoring on that previous play. Johnny Field triples, gets the RBI, and the error comes in on Emmanuel Tapia, whose throw was offline to third base. And for Gastonia in the top of the third inning, it'll be Osinski, Saleh, and Cordell coming up. Jackins, for the second inning in a row, is handed a 1-run lead. This time we'll see if he can hang on to it. Through his first 2 innings of work, Atkins is sitting at 44 pitches. Anderson's at 46, so they're both pretty much neck and neck in terms of how much they have thrown. 28 strikes for Atkins, 23 for Anderson. First pitch coming here, and it's down low to Osinski, count 1-0. Mike Osinski struck out in his first at-bat. Mitch Atkins struck out 3 hitters in the first. Here comes the 1-0. That pitch swung on, line drive, shallow center field. In comes Johnny Field, slides, and wouldn't you know it, of course, Johnny Field makes the catch in center field. That's out number 1. It's really starting to just become routine here. Johnny Field, you know he's good for a fantastic catch every night.
It's just unbelievable at this point.
Third baseman, number 20.
I mean, every single night he's making some sort of diving crazy play, and well, that doesn't stop here.
That'll bring up Joshua Saleh, who struck out in his first at-bat. It's the curveball that Atkins got on him last time. Fastball strike down and in here to begin this at-bat. Comes the 0-1, another fastball. This one skied into left field. Plenty of time for Quincy Lattimore to get over there, and he'll put it away. It's out number 2, and Mitch Atkins has retired the first 2 hitters for Gastonia here in the 3rd inning, breaking the trend of the first 2 hitters getting aboard.
Time for a scoreboard update around the Atlantic League, brought to you by Ginny Moore Cruise Planners. Top of the 5th inning of a 7-inning bowl game. York leads Lancaster 3-0. West Virginia up 2-0 on Lexington, bottom 5. And the Ducks up on the Blue Crab 2-1, middle of the 2nd.
Brings up Ryan Cordell, the designated hitter. A base hit in his first at-bat. First pitch coming here. Fastball way up and in, and eclipse Cordell. And he will head down to first base. Bring up Emmanuel Tapia, who also struck out in the first inning. That's just a fastball that got away from Mitch Atkins a little bit up and in. Emmanuel Tapia,
Number 25.
guy with home run power. For the longest time this year, swings and misses changeup, count 0-1. For the longest time this year, he was averaging less than 2 RBIs per home run. He's hitting a lot of home runs of the solo variety and not coming up to bat with a lot of guys on base. But as Gastonia's offense is really upticked in the month of August, that started to change for Tapia. Atkins comes set. Here comes the 1-0. Runner goes. Here's the pitch. It's down and away. The throw down to second's a good one in time. In time to get Cordell. He is not having it. Exchanged a couple of words with Julius Green, but it doesn't matter. An absolute missile from Stuart Levy. That's the final out of the inning. And we go to the bottom of the 3rd. Rockers hang on to the lead. It's 4-3. The Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Van Gorgon.
All right, Rockers Nation, I am joined by Hype, our rocking horse, and our friend Ella. They are going to go from first base all the way to 3rd base. Are you 2 ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Let's go, Ella. Let's make some noise for her, folks. Cheer her on as she makes her way around these bases. Look at that jump, Ella. She's up in the air. Fantastic!
Proud of his 50-year history in High Point, Colton is a leading banker transfer of upholstery and mattress fabric. Their newest innovation, Live Smart, upholstery fabric, and Chill Sense mattress fabric. Got over 63 billion plastic bottles and counting from entering landfill, waterways, and ocean. Visit Colton.com to learn more.
Bottom of the 3rd inning, Rockers with a 4-3 lead. This quick inning, the top half from Mitch Atkins, and the offense, which has really been rolling the first 2 innings, look to continue it in the 3rd. It'll be Martinez, Downs, and Cardullo, the 3 hitters coming up. Combined, the Rockers and Honey Hunters, 7 runs on 8 hits in the first 2.5 innings.
Martinez.
Martinez walked in his first at-bat. Here comes the pitch from Anderson. That's a change-up in there for a strike, in the count 0-1. That was the 0-1 from Anderson, working pretty quickly. It's an off-speed pitch down in the count 2-0. Check that count 1-1, I'm sorry.
We talked about it in the pregame show. These are two pitchers who probably aren't going to go deep into the ball game, and John Anderson is already almost at 50 pitches here in the third inning.
I think that's why Martinez hits this one off the end of the bat toward short. Amarista picks it up, throws to first in time. That retires Martinez for out number 1. I think that's why it's so important that Mitch Atkins only threw 15 pitches in that last inning. Sorry, no, he only threw 7 pitches in that last inning. That was a very quick top of the third for Atkins.
Well, it helps when Stuart Levy's just gunning guys out in the regular this week.
Started the inning at 44 pitches. He's now at 51. The hitter is Jerry Downs. He singled in his first at-bat. Fastball, that's a strike from Anderson. Count 0-1. We are in darkness here at Truist Point. Well, the lights are on, but the sun has set. Another fastball. One stays away, a little bit outside, and the count is 1-1. Rockers 2 runs in the first, 2 runs in the second. Anderson started to rock back to begin his motion and then just kind of stopped. Jerry Downs was still standing there in the box, so that must have been Anderson just stopping it himself. Now he's ready. Here comes the 1-1 to Downs. Fastball. Downs is late on it. And the count 1-2, almost as if Downs was not expecting that pitch. Perhaps less that he was not expecting and more he wasn't really committed to the swing. Here comes the 1-2. Off speed, hit on the ground, and a diving stop by Tapia. He knocks it down, but there will be no throw. Jerry Downs reaches on an infield single. It's his second hit of the ball game. It was a good play by Tapia to knock it down, and thought at first he was going to be able to have a play, but it took him too long to recover the baseball, and Anderson was not going to be able to get to first base in time either. So that brings up Stephen Cardulo. Cardulo steps in from the right-handed side, sacrifice fly in his first at-bat. That pitch inside just about got him, and Cardulo kind of floated down to his knees. About the only way I can describe that slow motion of him dropping down to his knees. Count 1 ball and no strikes to Cardulo. Anderson comes set. Here comes the pitch. Pitch down low in the count 2-0. He moves around on the rubber more than anybody else I think I've seen this year. For Cardulo, he's now standing straight in the middle. Almost as if he's just trying different things out. Anderson comes set. Downs takes his lead off of first. Here comes the 2-0 to Cardulo. It's a slider down and in. The count 3-0 to the Rockers' number 5 hitter. Quincy Lattimore waits on deck as High Point looking to build off of their 1-run lead. This has the feeling of another high-scoring ball game tonight. It's the 3-0. Fastball upstairs, and it's a 4-pitch walk to Cardulo. Downs heads to second, and that brings up Quincy Lattimore.
Funny thing is, this is a pitching matchup where you had two guys who went to Mexico for the majority of this year. Usually, a pretty good pitcher if you go to Mexico, but these are two guys that have just struggled since coming back, giving up a ton of runs in the early going.
Reggie Harris going out to talk to Anderson. 3 of Anderson's 4 runs have been earned so far today. 2 of Atkins' 3 have been earned. Big thing that stands out to me for Mitch Atkins so far is 1 walk and 3 strikeouts, which to me the big thing is the fact that he's not walking a whole lot of guys, but also he's kept the ball in the yard today. He's given up 5 hits, but home runs were kind of an issue for Mitch Atkins his last couple of outings. So I think the fact that he's kept the ball in the yard through his first 3 innings against a really dangerous Gastonia lineup really says a lot about where he is right now. So the mound visit is over. Reggie Harris returns back to the Gastonia bench. Here comes Quincy Lattimore in the right-handed box. 1 out. Runners on first and second. Anderson's first pitch coming here to Lattimore. Swing and a miss. Slider down. The count 0-1. Well, another big thing we've talked about in the pregame show, kind of how thin this Gastonia bullpen is. This may be a situation where Anderson's going to have to get him 5 just because they don't have enough guys out there. Here's the 0-1. That's inside. The count 1-1. You look down there, there's 6 guys down there. We counted 9 available pitchers tonight. Well, 9 pitchers on the active roster. 1's Anderson, so you're down to 8. 1's yesterday's starter, that's 7. 1 is Layer, who pitched 3 innings yesterday, so there's 6 available by our guess. Here's the 1-1. Lattimore swings, line drive deep into left field. That ball is gone. Rockabye baseball, a 3-run shot for Quincy Lattimore. A line drive home run, absolutely tattooed over the left field wall. And the Rockers lead 7-3.
Number 2 for Quincy Lattimore.
Lattimore's second home run of the year. He's now got 9 runs batted in. That's the cushion Rockers and Mitch Atkins needed. I'll bring up Giovanni Alfonso now. Still 1 out in the inning. And here's the pitch from Anderson. That's down and in, just about got Alfonso on the foot. And the count 1-0.
And if you're Moro Gazzo, you're in the dugout basically being forced to leave Anderson out to dry here because you have nobody left in the bullpen, and there's no way you get through the rest of the week. You'd be going to the bullpen in the 3rd inning.
Here comes the 1-0. Alfonso lifts it up out of play, right field side, 1-1. Especially when you consider the fact that Jacinto Garcia and Jamie Callahan both left Tuesday's game with an injury, and they haven't really been replaced by anybody.
When I think the final 2 innings for the Rockers on Tuesday is the most important of the series.
Alfonso swings, high fly ball, center field, not deep. Powell ranging over to his left, puts it away. That's out number 2. What do you mean by that?
Well, the Rockers got to the Gastonia bullpen and ended up burning through 5 different pitchers out of the pen. Herman, Kuzia, Callahan, Garcia, and Ingram. And 3 pitchers used in the 8th inning. It's that adage from Billy Bean in the movie Moneyball. You want to be on your 10th, 11th pitcher of the series.
First pitch fastball to Jay Gonzalez, misses down low, count 1-0.
And by the time you're on the back end of the bullpen, especially for Gastonia, which is the worst in the league to begin with, there's nobody left.
0-1. Correction, the 1-0, that's a strike, in the count 1-1.
So even though you lost yesterday, who's left in the bullpen today? No one really, which means you have a massive opportunity.
And on the flip side, Gonzalez is late in the count 1-2. With Hensley being able to rebound from a rough first couple innings and go 6, the Rockers bullpen's in very good shape themselves.
Ryan Dole got a day of rest yesterday, Kyle Halbon too.
Swing and a miss. The slider upstairs. Anderson gets out of the inning, but the Rockers have put up a crooked number all 3 innings tonight. They take a 7-3 lead into the 4th. Javik Blake, your play-by-play when we return on the Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Van Dork.
Sunday, September 12th. Don't miss our spectacular spectacular 3D fireworks show from the field. Tomorrow night, presented by Compton Art and Vascular Health Center. Join us Saturday, September 11th for First Responders Night, presented by Elderton Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, with a specialty jersey auction benefiting both Angels in Blue and the North Carolina Fallen Firefighters Foundation. Finally, Sunday, September 12th, is Superhero Day and Kid Run the Bases. Come and meet our special guest, Superwoman, Captain America, and Batwoman. It won't be hype, you won't want to miss. We look forward to seeing you back here at Truist Point each of the next 3 nights. All right, fans, put your hands up. Get ready to dance with Jimmy Muppet called Fifth, the Fifth Camp. Brought to you by V&A Gold and Shop. Celebrating over 50 years of providing high-quality service for all your pool needs in High Point, North Carolina.
Top of the 4th inning, and Mitch Atkins is enjoying quite the lead on a Thursday night. Javen Blake alongside Kendrick Fruits. Thanks so much for joining us. The Rockers lead 7-3. And Mitch Atkins back on the mound to face Emmanuel Tapia, Jake Skoll, and Mike Pappy. Lefty, lefty, lefty here in the 4th. It's been a good day for Atkins. Got a real nice 1-2-3 inning back in the 3rd. He's helped out with a couple of big double plays. He struck out 3 tonight. Really used the curveball the biggest way possible. Got either a called strike or a swinging strike 53% of the time on that pitch. First pitch, Tapia just stares at a curveball and just misses away, 1-0. Tapia today 0 for 1, struck out looking back in the 1st inning. The pitch, fastball misses high and away, 2-0. The righty kicks and fires. Fastball again misses away, 3-0. He's not pitching by much. A couple pitches that have missed down by no more than a half inch. That one missed outside. The 3-0 pitch. Fastball at the letters, called a strike, 3-1.
And even though Mitch Atkins can pick up some strikeouts, he's the best when he's getting outs early on in the count.
3-1 the count to the lefty. Fastball misses inside, ball 4, and a leadoff walk for Emmanuel Tapia. Puts one on for Jake Skoll. It's been a nice rebound start, though, for Mitch Atkins, who last pitched on Friday in West Virginia and gave up 7 runs on 8 hits and 2+ innings. Rockers came back and won 12-9. That was a point where the Rockers were up 7-1 after 2.5 innings. Put up a 7 spot in the top of the 3rd. Skoll in from the left side. The pitch, swing, and popped up. First base side, out of play. Count goes to 0-1. And then the bottom half of the inning, Atkins and Chafee combined to give up 7 runs to West Virginia. And it was a point where all 7 came across before there was even an out in the inning. So he's rebounded nice today. Only 3 runs on 5 hits through the first 3 innings. Tapia on first. Skoll up from the left side. Doubled a couple feet from the wall. The pitch, swing and a miss and a curveball. Count goes to 0-2.
The off-speed stuff from Atkins, the curveball, the slider, the changeup, all of that has been almost untouchable today for for Gastonia hitters. Only thing is, got to get in the count where you can get them to chase.
Well, he's got an opportunity here. 0-2 the count. The pitch, fastball, misses away, 1-2. The curveball's been the put-away pitch. He's used it to get every single one of his strikeouts today. The pitch, curveball, swing and a miss, strike 3, and there's number 4. Massive swing and a miss from Jake Skoll. That's out number 1. And brings up another lefty, Mike Pappy. That's the 3rd time a batter swung and missed on the curveball today. All 3 of those times have resulted in a strikeout. Once to Osinski, once to Saleh, and once to Skoll. Pappy up from the left side. The pitch. Fastball. Called a strike 0-1. We've mentioned it a couple times this year, the metric called CSW, which is the rate which a pitch is either a swinging strike or a called strike. 35 plus is usually considered pretty good. The 0-1 pitch. Curveball, swing and a miss, 0-2. Mitch Atkins is at 55% today. He's thrown it 16 times. It's been either swung and missed or a called strike 9 out of the 16 times. The 0-2 pitch. Fastball. Inside corner, strike 3. Back-to-back Ks for Mitch Atkins. He's at 5 on the day, and just an absolutely beautiful pitch painted on the inside corner to Pappy. 2 outs, 1 on. Rockers up 7-3. Brings up the right-handed catcher, Jake Romanski.
And the reason that sequence was so successful, he's gone back-to-back curveballs for strike 2 and strike 3 a couple of times. So Pappy there is thinking, hey, I'm going to see it a second time, but instead Atkins dials up the fastball.
Romanski 1 for 1 today. The pitch. Fastball, called a strike at the letters, 0-1. This is the 3rd straight batter in the inning. He's got ahead 0-1. That's been the important thing for Rockers pitchers whenever they have success. It's getting strike 1, then getting strike 2. Atkins kicks and fires. Swing and a ground ball right at Alfonso at short. Picks it up, underhands to Martinez at second. And Tapia is stranded. The Tapia's out at second. Mitch Atkins gets out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We're through 3.5 of the point. Rockers up 7-3 back after this. The Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Van York Auto.
Tonight's t-shirt talk is brought to you by Carolina Kia. If you need service done to your car, look no further than Carolina Kia. Roger fans, are you looking for a t-shirt? You know what time it is, Roger fans. T-shirt time.
Bottom of the 4th inning from Truist Point. Chavik Blake alongside Kendrick Fruits. The Rockers lead by 4 in this one, 7-3. He's scored in every inning today, and John Anderson back on the mound for his 4th inning of work. Faces Stuart Levy, then the top of the order, Johnny Field and Michael Russell. It's just been a tough day for Anderson. He's thrown 67 pitches, which, your manager Mauro Gazzo, that's a good thing for a bullpen who basically doesn't have anyone left. The only problem is you've given up 7 runs, 6 of them earned, on 5 hits. Stuart Levy walks up to the plate from the right side, trying to notch his first hit in 5 games. Walked his only time up today back in the 2nd. Steps into the right-handed box. Anderson kicks and fires. Fastball. Misses inside 1-0.
The tough thing is, if you're Anderson, surely you had some understanding that if things did not go well early on, you were probably going to be a sacrificial lamb at least to the 5th or 6th inning.
The 1-0 pitch. Curveball misses low. 2-0. Levy digs in at the very back of the right-handed batter's box. Anderson kicks and fires. Curveball misses inside. 3-0. Levy would love to get something going here. Coming into today was 0 for his last 9 with 3 strikeouts. The 3-0 pitch. Fastball misses low when he walked for the second time today. Check that, walked for the first time today. Grounded into a fielder's choice last time he was up. Brings things up to the top of the order now with Johnny Field.
Top of the order for the Rockers, center fielder, number 2, Johnny Field.
Johnny Field last time up had a massive triple down the line. Ended up bouncing into the corner, brought home the tying run, then he scored himself on a Little League inside the park home run. First pitch home. Swing and grounded into the Honey Hunters dugout. Count goes to 0-1. It was a wild play. Emmanuel Tapia got the ball in from Jake Skolin right through to third, and it just went completely wide at Josh Chalet. Field pretty easily scampered home to give the Rockers a 4-3 lead. Well, they haven't looked back. They've scored 5 unanswered. Lead this thing 7-3 here in the 4th. The pitch. Swing and tapped foul, third base side. Count goes to 0-2. Michael Russell stands on deck. Michael Martinez behind him. Levy about a 1.5 lead off of first. Anderson kicks and fires. Curveball misses down low. 1-2. Johnny Fields been known to work some at-bats. 4 plate appearances last night, saw 30 pitches, including a couple of 10-pitch at-bats. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and tagged out towards left center field. Powell and Pappy go over. Pappy calls him off and makes the catch. Out number 1, Levy retreats back to first. And Field retired for the second time today.
It seems like Mauro Gazzo might have seen the writing on the wall. There is a right-hander up in the bullpen now for Gastonia.
Brings up the DH Michael Russell. 1 for 2 today. Down by about a half step. Off a throw from Joshua Saleh to end the second inning.
Number 4, Michael Russell.
Digs in from the right side. Levy at first, 1 out. The pitch. Fastball high and away, 1-0. Russell got probably one of the loudest standing ovations we've heard all year when he came up in his first at-bat. First time he'd played in 36 games. The 1-0 pitch. Fastball, called to strike, 1-1. Russell off of a throw off the face when stealing third. Placed in the IL with a broken jaw. Spent all of August, first 2 weeks of September there. 1-1 the count with 1 out. Anderson kicks and fires. Fastball misses inside, 2-1. Rockers did pretty well in his absence. 26-12. The pitch. Curveball misses inside. 3-1. Check that. 24-12 over the 36 games missed. Missed the turn of the first half of the second half, and the Rockers have got out to a 19-12 start. The 3-1 pitch. Curveball misses low, and Anderson walks another. Second walked batter of the inning. Brings up Michael Martinez from the right side. Whoever's in that bullpen has to really start getting going for Gastonia. This has been A tough night for John Anderson in a season that's been incredibly tough for the lefties. He's walked 4 batters. Check that, 5 batters now in 3 1/3 innings. The pitch to Martinez. Swing and fouled straight back. Count goes to 0-1.
Michael Russell would currently slide into 7th in the batting race if he were eligible, and I did the math to make sure that he gets to the eligible number of plate appearances by the end of the season. Coming into today, he only needs 97 plate appearances to qualify.
The pitch to Martinez. Fastball high and away, 1-1. Martinez 0 for 1 today. Walked, stole second, came around to score in the first inning, and then grounded out to Alexei Amarista back in the 3rd. Anderson checks second. Now comes home. Swing and a little looper, bounces down in right field. Levy went back to second, now goes to 3rd, and everyone advances 90 feet. Martinez the first base hit of the inning. Russell to second, Levy to 3rd. The base is loaded with 1 out now for the lefty Jerry Downs. Rockers lead 7-3. They've scored in every inning today. 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 3 more in the 3rd. Jerry Downs has a chance to blow the doors off of this thing.
Number 28, Jerry Downs.
1 out, bases loaded. Lefty-lefty matchup, which in most cases usually bodes well for the pitcher. Not when you face Jerry Downs. The first pitch. Fastball high and away, 1-0. Downs this year against lefties, hitting .383 with an OPS of 1.011. Today, 2 for 2 with 2 singles. Anderson comes set. The pitch home. Fastball again misses away, and the count 2-0. Seems like we mentioned this about every time the Rockers have the bases loaded. They are the only team in the Atlantic League without a grand slam this year. And it's been that way for the better half of the last 2.5 months. The 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss, a hefty cut. Count goes to 2-1. Down steps out of the box for a moment, readjusts the bright red batting gloves. Now steps back in. The 2-1 pitch. Fastball misses away, 3-1. There was a point in time where it seems like one of 2 things was going to happen. West Virginia was going to get their first triple of the year. They didn't get one until about a month and a half into the season, or the first Rockers grand slam. Well, the Power now have 5 triples in the year, and the Rockers still don't have a grand slam. 3-1 the count, nowhere to put them. The pitch. Swing and bouncing ball foul, first base side. Count goes to 3-2.
Jerry Downs here, though, walks as good as a hit. You want the big 4 RBIs, but just to keep the train rolling, you've got all the offensive momentum you could ever want here tonight.
Sitting at 64 runs batted in this year, drove home a run back in the first inning. Got the Rockers on the board. 3-2 the count with 1 out. Anderson comes set. Now the pitch. Swing and fouled straight back. Count stays at 3-2. And what do you know? Another Rockers batter with a 5+ pitch at bat. Last night we saw an 11-pitch at bat, a 13-pitch at bat, and a 9-pitch at bat. We're on a pitch number 7 of this one. Downs waves the mahogany bat a couple of times. Now holds it right next to that back shoulder. The 3-2 pitch. Swing and whooped out towards center field. Powell takes a couple of steps back, retreats back a couple of more, makes the catch, tagging from 3rd is Levy. He comes home, the throw goes into 2nd, and the Rockers tack on another. Levy makes it an 8-3 ball game. Michael Russell heads to 3rd, and for Jerry Downs, he picks up his 2nd RBI of the night. Puts him at 65 on the year. Brings up Steven Cardullo with 2 outs. And that brings out Jake Romanski a couple steps from home plate with runners in the corners. Taps out the first and third sides. Kendrick, you said a walk's as good as a hit. So was a fly out in that situation. To get the run home, now a 5-1 game, a 5-run game. The Rockers leading now 8-3 in the fourth inning. Cardullo up from the right side, first pitch. Fastball misses inside, 1-0. Cardullo has not recorded an official at-bat today. He's 0 for 0 with a sac fly, a walk, and a run batted in. Gave the Rockers the lead back in the first at 2-1. The 1-0 pitch. Curveball misses in the dirt, 2-0.
Anderson's out there talking to himself into his glove. Can't be complaining about the calls on some of those pitches. He's been off speed down in the dirt almost.
It's been the first time, at least in the month of September, that the Rockers have scored in 4 straight innings. They've scored in 3 straight a couple of times, but not quite 4. The 2-0 pitch. Swing and just a foul tip back to the screen. Count goes to 2-1. Biggest time they scored in 3 straight innings was in the 17-6 demolishing of Gastonia. That was back on September 2nd. They scored 5 in the 5th, 6 in the 6th, and 2 more in the 7th. The 2-1 pitch. Curveball looped out towards center field. Powell goes over, takes a bounce in front of him. Russell crosses home. Martinez heads to third with a head-first slide, and the throw comes into second. The Rockers get another second RBI of the night for Steven Cardullo. Picks up hit number 1. And the Rockers now lead this thing at 9-3. And they've scored multiple runs in every single inning today. And that's going to be it for John Anderson. Mauro Gazzo comes out to the mound, signals the pennant for a team whose bullpen has been taxed to the max. They're going to have to go to it again. Anderson departs, new pitcher in the ball game. And runners on first and third when we return with 2 outs in the inning. Rockers lead 9-3. We're back after this. The Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Vanny Mercado. Bottom of the fourth inning from Truist Point, John Anderson's return to the United States. Pretty brutal one. 3 2/3 innings, 7 hits. So far, he's given up 9 runs, responsible for the runners at the corners. Cardullo at first, Martinez at third, and Howland Peguero comes into the ballgame.
Peguero on the season, 3-5, 6.98 the earned run average, 26 appearances, 8 starts, 59 innings pitched, 41 walks, 48 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .298 off of him, and he's allowed the second most home runs of any Gastonia pitcher this year with 11.
Mazzaro hasn't pitched in 6 days. Last pitched against Lexington, gave up 2 runs and 2 hits in an inning. So far in the month has only thrown 44 pitches in 3 appearances. We can go a little bit of length. Lattimore first to face him. First pitch. The righty takes a fastball in the outside corner, called the strike, 0-1.
Well, some interesting action in the Rockers pen just ended. Neil Uscali and Joe Johnson were playing catch together.
And for Neil Uscali, if he can come into this ball game, that's a huge thing for the Rockers. Get him back on the horse after a tough appearance in West Virginia. The 0-1 pitch. Lattimore takes a fastball high, 1-1.
And that's kind of what we've seen Jamie Keefe do recently, was kind of piggyback Uscali off of Mitch Atkins' last couple of starts.
Lattimore 1 for 2 with a homer and 3 runs batted into that. Homer last time up in the 3rd. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a bouncing ball to 3rd. Saleh backhands it down the line. A long throw to 1st in time. And that ends the inning. Alan Pagero does his job, gets out of the inning, and keeps the Rockers under the double-digit mark. But in the inning, the Rockers score 2 more runs on 2 hits, no errors, and they leave 2 runners left on base. We're through 4 innings at Truist Point. The Rockers lead it 9-3. We're back after this. The Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Vinnie Mazzaro.
Shout out your answer.
Mitch Atkins long jumps over the first base foul line, runs out to the mound. We head to the top of the 5th inning. Javik Blake alongside Kendrick Fruits, and it has been all High Point today. They lead 9-3 in the series finale against Gastonia, and Mitch Atkins back on the mound to face the top of the order for the 3rd time today. Boot Powell, Alexei Amarista, and Mike Osinski. The Rockers started this game off by again allowing the first run of the ball game for the 7th straight game. Gastonia scored 1 in the 1st, 2 in the 2nd. So far, the Rockers are creating a phone number to call the Lancaster Barnstormers and the York Revolution. They scored 2 in the 1st, 2 in the 2nd, 3 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th. The York and Lancaster area code 223. So they're out here creating a phone number early in this one. Boot Powell's going to be first to face Mitch Atkins, who came out a little bit later, so there's one more warm-up pitch to complete. Levy hucks it down to 2nd. And we're about ready to go.
Well, and it's a good thing the Rockers have jumped out to this advantage as well, because West Virginia is up 4-1 on Lexington right now, and they're in the 7th inning of that game. So for the Rockers, you want to go into this weekend series with West Virginia with that 1-game lead still.
Center fielder, number 1, Boot Powell.
Boot Powell leads this thing off in the 5th inning. Gastonia does not have a hit since Jake Romanski singled, with nobody out in the top of the 2nd inning. Powell at the very back of the left-handed batter's box. The pitch, fastball, called the strike, 0-1. Well, it was a battle today of a former Rev versus a former Barnstormer, and so far it's the former Rev getting the better of the matchup. The 0-1 pitch, fastball, misses high and away, 1-1.
Atkins started the inning at 65 pitches, and for a guy who really hasn't been stretched out much since returning.
The pitch home. Swing and fouled back out of play over the third base side. Count goes to 1-2.
I kind of wonder if Jamie Keefe maybe he's going to cap him 80-85 or so.
Either way, what a night it's been. He's already struck out 5 and has a chance for number 6. The pitch. Swing and a little looping fly ball out to left. Lattimore goes over, loses the count, makes the catch about 10 feet from the line. And that's out number 1. Talk about a magical second time through the order. Lexi Amarista comes up. Dating back to Boog Powell's first time up in the second inning. Mitch Atkins has not allowed a hit. He struck out 2, hit a batter, walked a batter. And those are the only 2 guys who have reached base. Lexi Amarista comes up from the left side. Atkins sits at just 69 pitches. The next pitch will be 70th. The pitch. Fastball high and away, 1-0. Amarista today 0 for 1. Walked in the first. Grounded out to second in the second. The pitch. Fastball misses low, 2-0. The pitch home. Swing and clobbered out towards right field. Gonzalez goes back towards the wall, looks up and just barely makes the catch. A step from the wall. It's the 4th ball this week that we've seen look like at first it's going to go over the wall, but it just dies at the track. Amarista retired for out number 2. It's up Mike Osinski.
And a right-hander up in the bullpen for Gastonia. It looks like William Kerwin, which to me signals that Kerwin's going to come in probably clean in the bottom of the 5th inning and try to go 3, maybe 4 innings.
Big thing with Piguero now done is that burns one of your bullpen guys. The pitch. Fastball. Hold a strike on the outside corner of the righty. 0-1.
You got to think what Gazzo's banking on is the fact that Kerwin's had success against the Rockers this year and can eat up some innings.
The 0-1 pitch. Curveball misses in the dirt, blocked up by Levy, 1-1. Gives us a chance to tell you the final line for John Anderson on the day. Goes 3 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 9 runs, 8 of them earned, 5 walks, 2 strikeouts, and 94 pitches. The pitch. Fastball. Misses away, 2-1.
It's 94 pitches, a season high for John Anderson, maxed out at 93 in Mexico.
Not exactly the return he was looking for in the United States. The 2-1 pitch. Swing and lofted out towards right field. Gonzalez goes back towards the warning track, sticks up the black glove, and makes the catch for out number 3. First clean 1-2-3 inning of the night for Mitch Atkins. What a night it's been for him after a shaky first inning. Hasn't allowed a hit in the 3rd, 4th, or 5th inning. And we're officially through 4.5 in High Point. Rockers lead at 9-3, and they'll look to add on to the phone number scoring when we come back on the Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Van York Auto.
Call 336-716-WAIT or visit waitehealth.edu/sportsmedicine today to schedule an appointment. Wake Forest Baptist Health. Go where the athletes go. Rockers Nation, it's time to show your muscle for the Wake Forest Let Hand. The beach season isn't over yet. Let's see those muscles.
Bottom of the 5th inning, Rockers lead it 9-3 over Gastonia. Final game of a 3-game set before both teams embark on 7-game series. The Rockers take on the Power. The Honey Hunters face the Legends. It's Giovanni Alfonso, Jay Gonzalez, and Stuart Levy to look for the Rockers here in the inning.
Leading off for the Rockers in the bottom of the 5th inning, the shortstop.
Alan Peguero out for his second inning of work. Faced one batter, got Quincy Lattimore to ground into a fielder's choice. Almost end the 4th inning. Trying to get some length out of a bullpen that just doesn't really have anyone left. Alfonso in from the right side, the pitch. Curveball, called the strike, 0-1. Alfonso today 0 for 1, flew out to center field back in the 3rd, walked in the 2nd. The 0-1 pitch, fastball, misses high, 1-1. Gastonia's bullpen has just been abused all series long. They threw 6 different pitchers out of the pen on Tuesday. The pitch to Alfonso. Swing and a miss, way ahead of a fastball. Count at 1-2. They had 2 guys depart due to injury, Jamie Callahan and Jacinto Garcia, who didn't throw a ball over 75 miles an hour for someone that usually touches 85 in his 22 pitches. The pitch. Curveball misses away, 2-2. Yesterday, they used Jose, who's normally their closer, but they used Euclides Layer for 40-plus pitches for the 3rd time in 6 days. It's created a situation that there's not many guys left out there. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a bouncing ball over the glove of Peguero to second. Osinski picks it up, throws to first, and that retires Alfonso. Out number 1. Brings up Jay Gonzalez, who's 0 for 2 with the strikeout. For the Rockers, it's Ryan Chafee currently warming up in the bullpen. I want to talk about dominant guys. Chafee struck out 9 batters in his last 5 innings out of the pen. The pitch to Gonzalez. Fastball misses low, 1-0.
The funny part about Chafee, we talked to him after giving up those 2 home runs to Miles Williams, and he said, I threw the pitches in the spots that I wanted to throw, and Williams just beat me both times.
Peguero looks in from the right side. The pitch out. Fastball misses way up high. Romanski almost had to get out of the crouch to grab it. Count evens up 1-1. I think that count goes to 2-1. The bottom 3 in this order are the only Rockers to not have a hit. Jay Gonzalez is the only Rocker that hasn't reached base today. The 2-0 pitch. Curveball, called the strike. Count goes to 2-1. Peguero's thrown now 13 pitches in the outing. Last 3 times out has not topped 16 pitches. The pitch. Swing and a bouncing ball again over the glove of Peguero. Osinski backhands it, second base back, throw to first, not in time. And Gonzalez beats it out. Now make it all 9 in the Rockers lineup that have reached base today. That brings up the righty Stuart Levy. Levy, as always, takes the customary left-handed swing before stepping into the box from the right side. Levy was actually at one point in time in his career a switch hitter. Back his freshman year of college at Arkansas State. Only problem was he didn't really have the confidence to go up from the left side against really good righties. He just hit right-handed. The pitch home. Fastball misses high, 1-0. Levy says more than anything else, swinging left-handed is a way to clear his mind. Jumped into the cage today and took a couple of swings from the left-handed side. He said the biggest thing when he's hitting left-handed is he's just trying not to miss the baseball. Right-handed side, he's thinking, my shoulder's got to be here, my leg's got to be here. The 1-0 pitch. Fastball misses away, 2-0. Though I will say, Levy from the left side put one about 30 feet short of the wall and right, which is not bad at all for someone who was 18 years old last time they swung from left side in the game. The 2-0 pitch. Fastball misses away, 3-0.
Highland Peguero is really not commanding his fastball. He's missed way up and in. He's missed way down and away. Fastballs are not anywhere close to the strike zone right now.
Levy walked last time up. Grounded into a fielder's choice in the second. Top of the order up next. Rockers lead it 9-3 in the fifth. The pitch. Fastball low and away, ball 4. Levy walks for the second time today. He's the 6th different batter to walk in the game today. And turns things over to the top of the order in Johnny Field. Jay Gonzalez moves to second, Levy at first. Rockers lead it 9-3, bottom of the fifth inning. Just went out, a chance for another run on the scoreboard. They've scored in every single inning today. They've scored multiple runs in every single inning today. 4 for 5 with runners in scoring position too. Numbers just keep getting better. The pitch to Field. Fastball called to strike on the inside corner, 0-1. Field tripled in the second. His only hit today. 1 for 3 with an RBI and a triple. Triple is the Rockers' 11th of the season. Peguero checks second, now comes home. Fastball misses inside. It's like crossed up Romanski. Count evens up 1-1. For Field, that was his 3rd triple of the year, and that put him in some pretty good company. James McGowan, the only other Rocker with 3 triples this year. Though McGowan hit 2 of his 3 in a single week. Hit a triple on Wednesday and then hit another one on Sunday. Peguero steps off. Looks directly at Gonzalez at second. The man does not move. There is no one there. He takes about a step back, and Peguero gets back on the rubber. Amarista and Osinski are not caring at all about Gonzalez at second. The 1-1 pitch. Fastball misses low. Check swing. They check to first. Does not go. Count it 2-1.
How about the lead? Stuart Levy's been getting over there at first base as well. Not held on. He's probably got 7-8 steps.
Emmanuel Tapia is about 5 steps back of the bag and then 5 steps into fair territory. Levy just takes a walking lead. Probably about 10 feet off the bag. Field sets back in from the right side. Rockers looking for run number 10 on the night. Peguero steps off. Gonzalez goes back. Now Peguero sets back on the mound. So 19 pitches, just 8 strikes. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss to the fastball. There's strike number 9. Count goes to 2-2.
That pitch is a lot of down and away movement, a lot like a slider does. It was the same pitch he threw a moment ago that was further down and away, and Field did not chase it. This one a little more up in the zone, and he did miss that one.
He's thrown 2 pitches today, a fastball and a slider. Typical from what you'd see in a reliever, though we saw it yesterday from starter Austin Glorious, who just diced up the Rockers. 2-2 the count, 2 on, 1 out in the inning. The pitch, fastball, cold strike 3 in the inside corner, and Field strikes out looking for the 2nd time today. 2nd out of the inning, 1st strikeout for Peguero. And brings up Michael Russell for his 4th plate appearance of the night. Hansky calls time, goes out to the mound to talk to Peguero, and brings home plate umpire Owen Bauer the 4th with him. That's usually a situation where it's just about signs, nothing too crazy.
One thing that Peguero's had going for him today is that slider's had a lot of nice movement, and that must have been what handcuffed Johnny Field. He didn't think it was going to come all the way back into the plate, into the strike zone, but it did.
The only swings and misses in called strikes Peguero has got today is off of the sliders. They're 13 times. 2 swings and misses, 4 called strikes. Brings up the DH, Michael Russell. First pitch. Righty takes a fastball high, 1-0.
This may end up being Russell's last at-bat of the day. Jamie Keefe's not going to force him to keep him into the lineup here in his first game back.
Not a bad way back, though. 4 at-bats in a DH spot before the 5th inning gets to the end. The 1-0 pitch. Swing and a little bleeder, left field base hit. Gonzalez touches third, comes home. Pappy picks it up. The throw home is late, and the Rockers bring up a 10 spot. Michael Russell picks up his 28th RBI of the year. Levy advances to second, and the Rockers have put up a 10 spot yet again against Gastonia. Michael Russell, multi-hit game for him today. Multi-hit game number 19 on the year. Now a ball gets away from the Rockers bullpen. Levy hops off a second, picks it up, throws it back over to where Ryan Chafee's warming up.
This is the 9th game these two teams have played in the second half, the 6th time the Rockers have hit double digits.
The Rockers have won all of those games and they've scored more than 10. Pitch. Martinez swings and dribbles it up the first baseline. Peguero grabs it, throws to first in time, and that ends the inning. But not before the Rockers hit double digits for the 7th game in their last 8 against Gastonia. In the inning, 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, 2 runners left on base. They've scored in all 5 innings today, and they lead it 10-3 as we head to the top of the 6th inning. Back after this, the Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Vandy Ocado.
Welcome, Fall 2020 Rockers Boys Kickball League champions. 30-minute reset. Welcome, home team inspection shirt. And welcome to International Facility Management Association. And welcome L&L Winston-Salem. Thank you for joining us tonight. We look forward to seeing you all again soon, right here in Truist Point. Today's post-game meal is provided by Richter's Grill. Make sure to visit Richter's Grill, the official post-game hangout at High Point Rock. Visit them tonight at 3815 Tinsley Drive in High Point. Pitching for the Rockers, number 24, Ryan Chafee.
Rockers lead at 10-3, top of the 6th inning. Javen Blake alongside Kendrick Fruits. Mitch Atkins out of the ballgame after 5. He can qualify for his 2nd win of the year and brings to the mound the righty Ryan Chafee.
Ryan Chafee's been a workhorse in the Rockers bullpen this year. 3-1, the ERA is 4.05. Today's appearance will tie Kyle Halbon for the most of any Rocker reliever with 36. In his 40 innings of work, he's allowed only 4 home runs. 2 of them came this weekend. 35 walks, 51 strikeouts, and opponents hitting a measly .230.
Faces Joshua Saleh to start things off. It's Saleh, the pitcher spot, then Emmanuel Tapia. And standing in the on-deck circle looks to be someone wearing the number 8 jersey. The pitch to Saleh. Fastball. Called a strike to the lefty. 0-1. The problem is there is not a number 8 on the roster for Gastonia. Unless we're reading the wrong number.
Will Johnson's number 8.
The 0-1 pitch. Fastball high and away. 1-1. It's Will Johnson standing on deck. It's going to go lefty, righty, lefty here in the 6th inning. The 1-1 pitch. Fastball called a strike on the outside corner. 1-2.
I am extremely impressed at the way Joshua Saleh's been kept in check so far in this series.
Especially how he's been in September. Came in today 9 for 26. He's 0 for 2. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and foul straight back. Count stays 1-2.
That puts him at 2 for 8 in this series with just 2 singles.
Which you add those numbers into what he was doing in September. And he came into this series absolutely red hot. Came off a 7 for 22 week. Just been held in check. The 1-2 pitch. Fastball misses low, 2-2. Final line on Mitch Atkins goes 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts through 76 pitches. Most he's thrown in a start since August 11th against Lexington. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and fouled straight back. It's a good battle here. Count stays 2-2.
And you've got to think as long as everything checks out from a health standpoint, Mitch Atkins is going to be about the 100 pitch mark his next time out.
Saleh digs back in from the left side. Ready Chafee with the royal blue socks way up high. Comes sent at the belt. The 2-2 pitch. Fastball misses low, 3-2. Chafee's last 2 appearances has just been absolutely brilliant. Went 2 innings, struck out 4 against West Virginia on Monday. And on Friday went 3 and struck out 5. The payoff pitch. Fastball misses low. It's a leadoff walk to Joshua Saleh. And that brings up Will Johnson. Will Johnson comes in the pitcher spot, which spells the end of the day for Highland Pagero. Threw an inning in a third in relief for John Anderson after he departed without getting out of the 4th inning.
Pitch hitting for Gastonia. Will Johnson.
Johnson steps up from the right side. Batting .245 on the year. The pitch. Fastball called a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Johnson batting .245. The OPS about 100 points below league average at .712. The OBP, though, a couple points above league average at .383. The 0-1 pitch. Fastball looks at it away, 1-1. Ready, comes set. Now comes home. Swing and tip back into the glove of Levy. Count goes to 1-2. That walk to Joshua Saleh was just the 8th walk allowed by the bullpen in their last 29 plus innings. They came into today on a torrid stretch. 29 strikeouts, just 7 walks and 9 runs. The 1-2 pitch. Fastball misses high and away, 2-2.
One of the things that makes Chafee so impressive, he's not a huge guy at 6'2", but there's a lot of downward motion on that fastball, especially when the guy at the plate, Will Johnson's just 5'11". That looks like a huge drop from that fastball.
Well, those 29 strikeouts, he has a little under a third of them at 9 over the span. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and tipped into the glove of Levy for strike 3. And Chafee notches his 10th strikeout in his last 5 1/3 innings on the mound. 1 out brings up Emmanuel Tapia. There is something going right with Ryan Chafee. Tapia comes up from the left side. Runner on first is Saleh. 1 out. Rockers lead at 10-3, top of the 6th inning. The pitch. Fastball. Misses on the inside corner, 1-0. Tapia today 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk. Was erased on a fielder's choice that ended the 4th inning. The 1-0 pitch. Swing and a bouncing ball down the first baseline. Gets foul. Count evens up 1-1. Gastonia today has pretty much done the same thing we saw from the Rockers yesterday on offense. The last hit for the Honey Hunters was a no-out single from Jake Romanski all the way back in the 2nd inning. We're with 1 out in the 6th. The pitch. Fastball. High and away, 2-1. Overshift on Alfonso right about up the middle. Ardulo right around the shortstop hole. The 2-1 pitch. Swing and fouled straight back, 2-2.
Not quite sure. Didn't see all the movement on that pitch. Almost looked like a high slider that all of a sudden at the last minute kind of came in at the hands of Tapia a little bit, and he could do all. It was all he could do just to foul it off.
2-2 the count with 1 out. The pitch from Chafee. Swing and a bouncing ball foul. Gets into the Rockers dugout first base side. Count stays 2-2. It's been an inning of long at-bats. Chafee's about to throw his 19th pitch of his appearance. Just on his 3rd batter. The righty comes set. Now the 2-2 pitch. Fastball misses low and another 3-2 count. Tapia walked last time he was up. Rockers pitching has allowed just 3 walks today. Pretty much on par with this team. They allowed 4 yesterday, 3 the day before. The 3-2 pitch, runner goes. Fastball high and inside, ball 4. It's 2 walks in the inning. And that brings up Jake Skoll. 1 out, Solly at second, Tapia at first. And now out comes the mound manager, Jamie Keefe. There's nobody in the bullpen. One of the rare times we see manager Jamie Keefe run out to the mound to talk to a pitcher.
Well, here's the big thing about Jamie Keefe. You got to watch the way that he goes out to the mound. If he's walking out to the mound, it's a change. In this instance, he was jogging out, so there was no change that he was planning on making. But here's the thing, too, about Ryan Chafee. In his last 8 appearances coming into today, he only walked 2 hitters in an appearance 1 time. So this is a little uncharacteristic from him. He started out the year giving up a lot of walks, but really in the month of August settled down, and the control was absolutely perfect.
Faces Jake Skoll, who is 1 for 2 on the day, 7 for his last 18 with 2 doubles and a homer. Double back in the 2nd inning, struck out in the 4th. Runners on 1st and 2nd, 1 out. Keefe back to the dugout. The pitch home. Curveball misses inside, 1-0. Well, if the Rockers can win out this week, Sunday is going to be a very special day for the skipper in the Rockers dugout. He's sitting on 896 career wins in his 18-year career. The 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss and a fastball dialed up. Count evens up 1-1. Be really special for Jamie to win number 900 at home. Rockers are on the road all of next week, which means if the Rockers go anything less than 5-1 this week, he's probably going to clinch it on the road either in West Virginia or Gastonia. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and fouled straight back. Count goes to 1-2. If he did win it at home on Sunday, that would cap off an unbelievable weekend. Not only would you have swept West Virginia, but then Jamie gets his 900th career victory. Started his managing career all the way back in the early 2000s with the Chillicothe Paints. Former Frontier League team. Is that a Chillicothe, Ohio? The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, another elevated fastball, and Skoll swings right through it. 2nd strikeout today. Chafee has 2 strikeouts in the inning. And up comes Mike Pappy.
Out of all the offseason acquisitions, Ryan Chafee might be one of the most underrated ones. He had a couple rough seasons in Southern Maryland, but he comes here to High Point, and he looks like he's 100% back on track.
7 of his last 17 outs have been recorded via the strikeout. Check that, 11 of his last 17. 5, 4, and 2 today. The pitch home. Swing and a miss from Pappy from the left side. Count goes to 0-1. Pappy, what do you know, struck out last time he was up in the 4th inning. I mean, we're entering Preston Gainey levels of untouchableness. The pitch. Fastball. Misses inside, 1-1. Gainey at one point had retired 56%. I think it was the first 40 batters he faced via the strikeout. Pappy 1 for 2 on the day. The pitch. Check swing and a sword on a fastball low. It's a strike. Count at 1-2. One pitch away from striking out 3 here in the inning. Saleh at second, Toppy at first, 2 outs. Top of the 6th inning, Rockers lead 10-3. Chafee comes set. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and looped foul. Third baseline drifts out of play. Count stays at 1-2. Jake Romanski on deck. Top of the order, and Boog Powell behind him. First time through, Gastonia tallied 5 hits. Next 16 batters to the plate, 0. The 1-2 pitch. Curveball at the top of the zone for strike 3, and Chafee continues to work wonders. His 12th strikeout in his last 10 innings. Pappy retired looking for the second time today, and 2 runners are stranded. No runs, no hits, no errors, 2 runners left aboard. Gastonia doesn't have a hit since the 2nd, and the Rockers are rolling. 10-3 the score, we're through 5.5. We're back after this. The Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Van York Auto.
Included in this seat is our POW MIAC, which will always remain unused in honor of those that have not come home. Please rise if you are currently serving or have served in our armed forces. Thank you for your service, and thank you to Cricket Royal for sponsoring the Rockers worldwide. Honor the hometown heroes and globally. Dominate them with fish and out of the water by sliding to highpointrockers.com. And now get ready to show those pearly whites fans in time for the Smile Camp, brought to you by Dr. Bradley Samuel. If you need a great dentist, call on 336-883-2316 or visit www.bradleyasmanuelddf.com. Dr. Bradley Samuel, the official dentist of the High Point Rockers.
Bottom of the 6th inning, William Kerwin comes into the ball game for Gastonia, becomes the 3rd pitcher used by the Honey Hunters tonight, in a night that's completely belonged to the High Point Rockers. They lead 10-3, bottom half of the 6th inning. Javen Blake alongside Kendrick Fruits. Thanks so much for joining us. It's Jerry Downs, Stephen Cardullo, and Quincy Lattimore. The 3 due up against the new man in the ball game from the right side, William Kerwin. Kerwin making just his 6th relief appearance all year. Started 15 games. Has come out of the pen 6 different times. 8.92 the ERA in 72 and 2/3 innings. 66 walks, 44 strikeouts, and opponents hitting an even 300 against him. Final line for Highland Pagero, inning and a third. 2 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. 24 pitches on the day, but it's been a day for the Rockers. They scored 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 3 in the third, 2 in the fourth, 1 in the 5th. They started things out with 2-2-3, which is also the area code for Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. This is where the Barnstormers are playing against the York Revolution tonight. Downs first up to face Kerwin. Left-handed hitter, the pitch. Fastball misses inside. Romanski almost has to fall over trying to get it. Count at 1-0. Downs today 2 for 2 with a sac fly. 2 runs batted in as well. The 1-0 pitch. Takes a fastball high, called a strike at the letters. 1-1. Downs didn't think it was a strike. Is sort of peering over to home plate umpire Owen Ballard. The automated ball strike zone has called that letter high pitch about all series long. The 1-1 pitch. Fastball. Called a strike. Count goes to 1-2. Stephen Cardullo on deck. Quincy Lattimore behind him. The 1-2 pitch. Fastball misses high, 2-2.
It's always kind of a wonder of which William Kerwin will show up. The one the first 2 times the Rockers saw him that absolutely dominated, or the one the last time they saw him where the Rockers really got to him and knocked him out of the ball game early.
The 2-2 pitch. Fastball way high and inside. Downs bends out of the way. Count goes full at 3-2. Rockers another night. And another night with double digits against the Gastonia Honey Hunters. They've scored 5 or more runs in now 17 of their 22 games against Gastonia. They've scored 10 plus, 6 out of their last 8. 3-2 pitch. Fastball. Misses away, ball 4. Downs leads it off with a walk and brings up Stephen Cardullo. Cardullo wanders up from the right side. Rockers have 10 runs on 9 hits and an error. Gastonia 3 runs on 5 hits and an error. Both the errors today counting for a run. Gastonia's error brought home Johnny Field back in the 2nd inning when he smashed a triple. And then Emmanuel Tapia threw it all the way into really short left field. Let Field come home with the Little League home run. The pitch to Cardullo. Fastball. Called a strike on the outside corner, 0-1.
Well, looks like Ryan Chafee's day's already done. He was fist bumping with his teammates on his way down to the bullpen just to hang out.
Well, why not? This is a night where you can kind of get everyone some work. The 0-1 pitch. Fastball. Misses high and away, 1-1.
That is Joe Johnson in the bullpen.
Cardullo 1 for 1 today. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a pop-up. Right field. Skull wanders in a couple of feet. Sticks up the glove, makes the catch. And retires Cardullo for out number 1. It's the first time Cardullo's been retired in an at-bat today. Went sac fly, walk, single, and now a fly out to right. It's up Quincy Lattimore with 1 out and a runner on. Rockers up by 7 here in the 6th. The righty fires. Fastball way inside to the righty. Count goes to 1-0. Lattimore is grounded into 2 fielders' choices today and promptly deposited one over the left field wall for a 3-run bomb back in the 3rd. The 1-0 pitch. Curveball misses away, 2-0. And Kerwin struggled. 11 pitches, he's thrown just 4 strikes. The 2-0 pitch. Fastball, called a strike. It's the 5th one he's thrown. Count goes to 2-1. Rockers' win today would be their 20th of the half. The 2-1 pitch. Swing and a towering fly ball, first base side. Tapia ranges over along with Osinski, and it's Osinski who makes the catch. Hauls it in for out number 2, about a step into foul territory. And brings up Giovanni Alfonso with 2 outs and 1 on.
Well, I'm keeping an eye on the West Virginia-Lexington game right now. Courtney Hawkins homered in the bottom of the 9th inning to pull the Legends to within 1. It's 4-3 with 1 out in the inning.
The Rockers, again, a win today would be their 20th of the half, the first in either division to do so. But it would also mean that they are guaranteed at least a 1-game lead in the division going into a 7-game series with the Power, who's sitting 2nd. Alfonso up from the right side. Pitch from Kerwin. Gio looks at a fastball, called a strike on 1-1. 0 for 2 with a walk today. Fly out back in the 3rd and ground out back in the 5th. Rockers lead it 10-3. Bottom 6. The 0-1 pitch. Swing and a foul ball looped out of play. First base side. Count quickly to 0-2. William Kerwin's 1 pitch away from being where no Gastonia pitcher has gone before tonight. And keep the Rockers off the board in an inning. The 0-2 pitch. Curveball handcuffs Gio. And that's strike 3. A ball that Alfonso thought was going to be on the inner half of the plate, beautifully curved over the outside corner for strike 3. And the Rockers, for the first time tonight, are held off the board. No runs, no hits, no errors. One runner left aboard. We head to the top of the 7th inning with Kendrick Fruits on play-by-play. When we return, the Rockers lead it by a touchdown. It's 10-3. The Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Van York.
Okay, everyone, it's time for the impressive chord to evaporate. Turn your attention to the area for the first base dugout for tonight's contest. Taylor, who we got tonight?
Okay, I have down here Shane and Joe. They are going to play a fun game of 50 bats. Their foreheads are going to be down on the back, down on the ground, and we're going to catch the puck again until I say go. Okay? 3, 2, 1, start spinning. Here we go. Jalen's got some speed. No, pick it up a little bit. Got it. Here we go. Round and around we go. Let's make some noise for our crowd. 3, 2, 1, go! Jalen's up! And Jalen wins! Let's do it for him, please! He's back today.
Top of the 7th inning. Rockers lead the Honey Hunters 10-3. And the Rockers go to the bullpen. Ryan Chafee had a really nice 6th inning of work. He's done, though, after the 1 frame. He struck out 3, walked 2, lowered the ERA down below 4. And he's going to turn it over now to the right-hander, Joe Johnson.
Joe Johnson making his 27th appearance of the year, 5.32 ERA in 23 2/3 innings, 10 walks, 19 strikeouts, opponents batting .256 against him.
Johnson will be facing 9-1-2 in this Gastonia lineup. It's Romanski, Powell, and Amarista.
Number 13.
Jake Romanski on the day, 1 for 2. So aptly that you mentioned the Rockers were up by a touchdown tonight on the night where the NFL season kicks off, and everybody's fantasy football hopes either immediately die or everybody's thinking they're championship bound here in the first quarter of tonight's game between the Cowboys and the Buccaneers. First pitch, Romanski swings, fouls it off, right field side. It gets out of play, and the count 0-1. Romanski steps back in. Johnson comes set. Here comes the 0-1. That pitch swung on, tapped weakly, third base side. It's foul, backhanded by Cardulo, but just toss it away, and the count 0-2. Now we got some guys in our dugout who are very much involved in the fantasy football scene. You heard Frank Viola's pregame interview a couple of days ago talking about he's in 7 leagues. There's the 0-2 Romanski fastball. That stays away, 1-2. You feel like somebody's got to be stationed on either side of the dugout, just calling in scores or something every now and then. Johnson comes set. Here comes the 1-2. That's a slider down, and Romanski holds off on it. The count 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now the Rockers and the Ducks, the only 2 teams in the Atlantic League to hit the 50-win mark so far. Long Island 51, the Rockers looking for number 51 as Romanski. It's a shallow pop-up to center field. Johnny Field is there. He puts it away, out number 1. And that'll bring up Powell now. Powell, the center fielder on the other side. 1 for 3 tonight. In fact, if you look at it, the next closest team to 50 wins is Southern Maryland, who came into tonight at just 46. So there's quite the gap between the Rockers and Ducks and then everybody else in the Atlantic League in terms of overall wins. Fastball strike at the knees for Johnson, count nothing at 1 to Powell. Only problem is your overall record really doesn't do you much good, other than it just looks good. Rockers need to be the best team in the South Division in the second 60 games. That pitch down and away to Powell, 1-1. They've certainly put themselves in that position, and really it puts the pressure on the guys behind you. Here comes the 1-1 to Powell. That pitch popped up. The count 1-2 as it goes out of play. And it also started to put a lot of pressure on Gastonia as well. A Rockers win tonight drops Gastonia to 4.5 back rather. They're starting to run out of time. Here's the pitch. Powell swings, ground ball, backhanded at second base by Martinez. Turns and throws. It's wide, but a nice pick on the scoop by Jerry Downs. That's a nice play on both ends. Michael Martinez keeps it from going to center field. Jerry Downs stretches towards right and makes the play.
Just one of those nights where everything goes right for the Rockers. The pitching's been good, the hitting's been good, and every night those two go together, it seems like the defense is right behind it.
And you want to talk about other things going right for the Rockers. Lexington just tied it in the bottom of the 9th inning, and the winning run standing at second base with 1 out. Here's the pitch from Johnson. Curveball to Amarista. That's a strike. I think the reason that they were able to do that, it was a base hit for Jose Briseño. They replaced him with Darian Sanford, who stole second and then came in and scored on the Baldachin single. Here's the 0-1, fastball upstairs, count 1 ball, 1 strike now to Amarista. Johnson holds the set. Like a change up, down and away, 2 balls and a strike. Rockers looking to take 2 out of 3 from the Honey Hunters. It's been about a month against Gastonia since they lost 2 consecutive. This one hit on the ground towards Martinez, the easy one. He drops down to a knee to field and throws on to first in time. And Joe Johnson has himself a 1-2-3 top of the 7th. It's stretch time here at Truist Point. Rockers lead at 10-3 as we go to the bottom of the 7th. The Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Van York Auto.
Up against the West Virginia Power. Tomorrow, September 10th through Sunday, September 12th. Don't miss our spectacular 3D fireworks show. You can walk from the field tomorrow night. It's presented by Compton Heart and Vascular Health Center. And on Saturday, September 11th, join us for First Responders Night, presented by Elberton Piper Dodge Jeep Ram, with a special jersey auction benefiting both Angels and Blues and the North Carolina College Firefighters Foundation. Finally, on Sunday, September 12th is Superhero Day, and Kids from the Bay come to meet our special guest, Superwoman, Captain America, and Batwoman. It won't be a night you want to miss. We look forward to seeing you there. Hey fans, please turn your attention to the jump rope drop as we present a novel 7-inning stretch. Their mission is to make delicious, feel-good food moments easy for everyone. Visit your High Point McDonald's today. Now let's join together in singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
Bottom of the 7th inning, William Kerwin back on the mound for the Gastonia Honey Hunters. Kendrick Fruits, Javen Blake here with you. Javen, we were just talking about it a moment ago. Given everything that West Virginia has been through and how taxed they are, why don't you let William Kerwin just finish this one up?
It's the biggest way to save a bullpen in a game that, unless something crazy happens, you've pretty much lost. And you're going against 7 against Lexington, which anytime those two teams get together, it is where ERAs go to die. So it's good to get a guy like Kerwin who can save everybody and make sure you're good to go for the series.
It's 8-9-1 coming up for the Rockers. Jay Gonzalez, Stuart Levy, and Johnny Field. First pitch, a called strike to Gonzalez. Count 0-1. Joey Hennessy is up in the bullpen for the Rockers. Comes the 0-1. Curveball away, and the count 1-1. Hennessy, a guy that could give you 2 innings. Now, here's the one thing that's really going to determine, I think, how Jamie Keith plays the rest of this, is that pitch is down low, and the count 2-1. The DH spot is due up 4th this inning. If he doesn't come up to bat, whoever comes in and pitches the top of the 8th may only get 1 inning. If we already get through that spot, I'm assuming if it's Joey Hennessy, he could probably go 2 and finish this game out, as that pitch misses upstairs and the count 2-1.
I do think, though, this is a great opportunity to get Nilu Scully back on the horse and into the ballgame.
I also agree with that. The 2-1 to Gonzalez, that's down and in. And it looks like that was ball 4. I apologize, I had the wrong number of balls there. And so heading down to first base is Jay Gonzalez, so the leadoff man is aboard, and that will bring up Stuart Levy.
Catcher, number 8, Stuart Levy.
Stuart Levy today, a fielder's choice and a couple of walks. That pitch misses down, and the count 1-0.
Power and Legends have gone to the top of the 10th inning, tied at 4.
Kerwin comes set. Levy hits this one on the ground, destined for left field. No, a nice play at shortstop there by Amarista, and the jump throw to second gets Gonzalez. What a play there by the athletic shortstop. That is the first out of the inning. Levy is aboard, although it doesn't count positively towards his on-base percentage. He's on for the 4th time today as Johnny Field steps up.
When's the last time you saw a guy go 0 for 2 and reach base every time? 2 walks, 2 fielder's choices.
Field swings, towering pop-up into shallow right field. Couple steps in the outfield grass, and making the catch is Manuel Geraldo, who has come in to replace Mike Osinski. Geraldo puts that one away, and that's out number 2.
The pinch hitter.
That'll bring up James McOwen, who will come in to pinch hit. That's the end of the day for Joe Johnson. James McOwen hitting .264, 7 home runs, 53 batted in. Fastball up at the shoulders, count 1-0. Levy, the runner at first base. Here's the pitch. Slider down and in. McOwen takes 2 balls, no strikes. Rockers in jeopardy of being held off the scoreboard for the 2nd inning in a row, but can do that with a 7-run lead. McOwen fouls that one. Somebody needs to tell James McOwen it's not yesterday. He fouled that one off of his leg. Everybody was doing that yesterday, but that's so yesterday's trend. The count 2-2 to McOwen. Check that, it's 2-1. Levy takes his lead off of first base. Kerwin slide step. Here's the pitch. Fastball. Called strike at the top of the zone. 2-2. James McOwen sneaking up on that double-digit home run mark. Not sure if he'll quite get there by the end of the season, but there's Takes the pitch, fouls this one off, gets out of play, and is destined for a parking lot over the left field side. A win today for the Rockers would put them back up 10 games over 500 on the year. That pitch down and away, gets away from Romansky, and trotting to second is Stuart Levy. So the Rockers have a man in scoring position.
That's a wild pitch charged to Kerwin.
McGowan back into the left-handed box. Very wide stance for the left-handed hitter. Kerwin comes set. Here comes the 3-2. Swings, fouls this one off, and caroms into the Rockers dugout, and the count holds. Michael Martinez, the switch hitter, who will bat from the left side, waits on deck. Kerwin comes set, ready to offer another 3-2. Swung on, hit on the ground towards second. Backhanded by Geraldo. The nice throw to first base. McGowan stretches. It's not in time. He's called out at first base by Jeffrey Sumter. And that is the final out of the inning. And what a play there from Manuel Geraldo. Good effort from McGowan, but at the end of the day, the Rockers go down 1-2 to the 7th. We go to the 8th. Rockers lead at 10-3 in the Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Van York Auto.
From 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Follow us on Instagram at the Pitchy Kitchen for weekly updates at food and drink specials. Come check out the unique dining experience overlooking our Jewish Boys Stadium. We offer delicious food and a great time. Fans, grab your attention to the field where you are about to witness the most exciting game of the Rocker Ball, brought to you by Health Surgery. Be sure to cheer them on. All right, Sailor, take it away.
Okay, we have some competition down here, folks. I am with Dylan and our great guys. Here to play some rocker ball. 3 rounds, that's 2, that's 3. Are you boys ready? Let's make some noise. 3, 2, 1, rocker ball. Go, speed. Dylan's down. All right. Alex. Good. Alex. 3, 2, 1, rocker ball. Dylan, believe yourself. Right, okay. Alright, we have the winner, folks. Let's hear it for Alex.
Top of the 8th inning, Rockers lead at 10-3. They go to the bullpen in the 8th inning. Joe Johnson's night is done. Pitched a scoreless 7th inning. It was a solid inning of work. Nothing doing in terms of walks, strikeouts, hits allowed. 1-2-3 inning. We'll turn it over to the young right-hander, Joey Hennessy.
Hennessy's been absolutely amazing this year. 17th appearance, 3.66 for the rookie out of Palm Beach Atlantic University. 19 2/3 innings, 22 walks, 23 strikeouts. Opponents hitting 147 against him.
Well, one young right-hander to another. We'll be facing 4, 5, 6. That's Geraldo, Saleh, and the pitcher spot. Kind of makes me wonder whether or not we'll see Kerwin swing a bat. I'm going to guess no, as there's a right-hander in the bullpen for Gastonia. At least for the moment, Manuel Geraldo will come up first. Geraldo on the season, 245, 4 home runs, 21 batted in, 6 stolen bases. Only 2 Honey Hunters are in double digits in steals. Powell at 30 and Saleh at 23. The next highest is Ryan Cordell at 7. Check that. Osinski and Pappy both have 8. Fastball strike to Geraldo. Count nothing and 1. But also, how about Ryan Cordell? 8 steals already, and he's been here, what, 3 weeks? Hennessy comes set. Here comes the 0-1 to Geraldo. The righty deals a fastball, swing and miss. Count 0-2. Well, that's one of the big things here for Hennessy. You got a guy who's cold off the bench in Geraldo, and Hennessy can just pump that fastball right by him. Here comes the 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him to chase the high fastball. And that's out number 1.
Third baseman, number 28.
So 1 out here in the 8th inning. That brings up Joshua Saleh. Saleh 0 for 2 today with a walk. Comes the pitch. Fastball again. That's all Joey Hennessy wants to go with so far. It's down low to Saleh, an easy take. And the count is 1-0. I'll be very interested to see if the Rockers do, in fact, go to Uscali in the 9th inning or whether or not they stick with Hennessy. Oh, got him on the changeup. Joey Hennessy, who has just been pounding the zone with fastballs, goes changeup to Saleh, who can't do anything with it. A ball and a strike to Saleh. Hennessy comes set, working the third base side of the rubber, delivers. Swing and a miss again on the changeup, and the count 1-2. Saleh is swinging for a fastball and not getting it. Hennessy comes set. Here comes a 1-2 to Saleh. Curveball stays outside, count 2-2. Pinch hitter on deck is Reese Hampton. Hennessy comes set. Here comes the 2-2 to Saleh. Fastball, swing and a miss, strike 3. It was down low, and Saleh still went down for it anyway. Back-to-back swinging strikeouts for Joey Hennessy, and this is impressive. Reese Hampton, the batter now. As Hampton steps up, we'll go ahead and let you know tomorrow night, post-game fireworks following the series opener against the West Virginia Power. They're 3D fireworks, and you'll receive special 3D glasses to watch the fireworks, sponsored by Congdon Heart and Vascular Health Center. You can watch the fireworks from the field. Pick out a spot down a baseline or nestle onto second base if you feel so inclined that that's the best spot to watch. It's also Atrium Health, Wake Forest Baptist High Point Medical Center Heart Health Night at the ballpark. Reese Hampton, the batter, hitting at .397, 4 home runs, 8 batted in. Slider down low in the count 1-0. Saturday, a day full of events as we commemorate and remember the 20th anniversary of September 11th. 6:30 in the morning, a stair climb will be carried out by members of the High Point Fire Department. Hampton swings and misses 1-1. Public is invited to participate and observe, either way you would like to do it. Heroes Run 5K will be at 11 o'clock that day. Still time to register. highpointrockers.com/5K. Charity softball event at 3:30 between the police department and the fire department. Those tickets are also still available as Hampton fouls that off, and the count is 1-2. If you get a ticket to the charity softball game, it's also good for the Rockers game that night. It's First Responders Night at the ballpark, presented by Ilderton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, and those jerseys will be available for auction on the Live Source app, with proceeds going to Angels in Blue, the North Carolina Fallen Firefighters Foundation. Change up down low to Hampton, 2-2. Then after the game, a special post-game concert featuring our own Bryce Hensley. Bryce Hensley's concert can only be seen, though, if you have a ticket to the Rockers game. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3 on the curveball. Joey Hennessy strikes out the side. A perfect 8th inning. And here's a perfect plan for Saturday. If you pre-order your ticket for the softball game That gets you into the Rockers game, which gets you into the Bryce Hensley concert after the game. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Rockers leading 10-3 in the Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Van York Auto.
Pitching for the Honey Hunters, number 22, Gastonia.
Bottom of the 8th inning. Gastonia goes to the bullpen once again. William Kerman got him 2. Walked 2, struck out 1, no runs allowed. We'll turn it over to the right-hander Raibel Custodio.
Custodio on the year, making his 17th appearance, 8.02 the ERA in 21 and a third inning, 16 walks and 13 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .294 against him.
Custodio in the bottom of the 8th inning will face Martinez, Downs, and Cardulo. That's 3, 4, 5 in this lineup. Jake Romanski throws the ball down to second. We're about ready to go here in the 8th inning. Michael Martinez will lead off. Walked in his first at-bat. 1 for 3 otherwise with a single, a couple of groundouts.
Number 19, Michael Martinez.
Custodio comes set. First pitch coming to Martinez. That is a changeup in there for a strike to Martinez. Custodio is not a guy who's going to throw particularly hard. That pitch down low, spiked in a nice scoop by Romanski. Count is 2-0. Oh, it looks like that first one was called a strike. It sure did not look like one. Looked high from here, but the count 1-1. Custodio deals. This pitch fouled off. The count 1-2. Gastonia playing Martinez to pull just a hair. Nothing crazy. Here comes the 1-2. That's down low. And the count 2-2. Well, I was just looking at the West Virginia-Lexington game. West Virginia scored in the top of the 10th inning to make it 5-4. Lexington has runners at the corners with 2 outs. First pitch, or that pitch to Martinez down low in the count 3-2. Custodio takes a long look in. Here comes the 3-2. Martinez rips a ground ball, fair ball. Oh, it's called foul. Sure looked fair from here. Looks like it went right over the first base bag, but the first base umpire, Jeffrey Sumter, calls it foul. The count will stay 3-2. He's the man with the best angle. Count stays full, and we'll do it again. Martinez with his front foot back in the box, kind of an open stance, lofts this one up and out of play, left field side, and once again, we'll do another 3-2. He keeps the toes of his back foot up on the line closest to the plate. And then the front foot is almost on the back line. It's a very open stance. Here comes the 3-2. Fastball, that's down low, ball 4. And Martinez opens the 8th inning with a walk.
Time for a check of the Atlantic League scoreboard, brought to you by Vinnie Mazzaro Cruise Planners. York sweeps a doubleheader against Lancaster today, 9-8 in Game 1. They win 5-4 in Game 2. Long Island takes down Southern Maryland 4-1, final in 7 innings. In the big one, West Virginia just beat Lexington. Courtney Hawkins lined out with runners to the corners in 2 outs for the Legends. Power win it 5-4 in 10, which means if the Rockers finish this thing out, it's the Power and Rockers separated by a game for a 7-game set.
First pitch fastball up and away to Jerry Downs, count 1-0. And not only that, but it drops Gastonia then to 3.5 behind West Virginia.
The Rockers win. Lexington will be 8 out.
Down swings, high fly ball, center field, not deep. And right under it to make the catch is Power. That's out number 1. Brings up Stephen Cardulo. Cardulo on the day. Has a hit, 2 trips, also a sacrifice fly and a walk. You kind of get the sense.
Third baseman, number 7, Stephen Cardulo.
I don't want to write off the team yet, but Lexington, for all intents and purposes, is kind of out at that point. You're 8 games down with, 27 to go.
And you have to jump 2 teams ahead of you.
Yep. Cardulo swings, and there's a high pop-up, foul territory. Tapia going back, he's twisting around, can't find it, and the ball drops. Cardulo catches a break as Emmanuel Tapia has to deal with a swirling wind and a baseball that kind of came back into the playing surface. And the count 0-1 to Cardulo. Runner on first base is Martinez as all the Honey Hunters slowly meander back to their respective positions. Custodio comes set. Here comes the 0-1 to Cardulo. That's a slow changeup down low in the count 1-1. Rockers up 10-3. Gastonia has not scored since the 2nd. Rockers haven't scored since the 5th. Cardulo fouls this one off, third base side, count 1-2. Cardulo digs back in, right-handed box. And he's a guy who you kind of get the sense, although the home runs haven't really been there for him recently, there's the 1-2, pops it up, out of play, count stays 1-2. You kind of feel like Cardulo thinks that maybe there's some of the pressure's been taken off of his shoulders a little bit with Jerry Downs, with Michael Russell, with Quincy Lattimore. There's other power bats in the lineup with Cardulo now, and he doesn't feel like he has to be the lone home run hitter on this squad. Here's the 1-2, fastball, tips it into the glove of Romanski, strike 3, and that's the 2nd out of the inning. And that'll bring up Quincy Lattimore. Lattimore smashed a 3-run home run coming back in the 3rd inning. 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th inning.
22, Quincy Lattimore.
said it a little while ago about the Rockers win out Saturday would be Jamie Keefe's 900th victory. Is that pitch down low, 1-0? Well, before you can get to win 4, you got to get to win number 1, and that's what they're just a couple outs away from accomplishing tonight. Here's the pitch. That's a fastball away, and the count 2-0 to Lattimore. Billy Horn doing some arm circles in the first base coach's box as if he's waving runners home. Lattimore fouls it off, count 2-1. Never know when you're going to need to do it. Got to keep the arms fresh. Bullpen is quiet for the Rockers, so Joey Hennessy will come back out for the 9th inning, and why wouldn't you after striking out the side in the 8th? Two balls and a strike. Custodio comes set. Lattimore pops it up. Romanski going back. The ball looks like it's going to land in the seats, and it actually just barely does. It hit the walkway at the very bottom of the seating section, so it didn't get out of play by much. The count 2-2. Not only did he hit that first row walkway, but it bounced back probably 7 or 8 rows after that. Lattimore steps back into the right-handed box. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Custodio, a long look in, now comes set. And here's the offering on 2-2. Fastball. Lattimore just reaches and pokes it into left field. That drops, base hit. Quincy's got a 2-hit day. Moves Martinez to second. The 8th inning continues now for Giovanni Alfonso.
That's the first hit for either side since Michael Russell singled with 2 outs all the way back in the 5th inning.
Gastonia hasn't had a hit since the 2nd, if my numbers are correct.
With 2 outs.
Yeah.
The final, they had 5 hits first time through the order. They are now 5 out of the 9 guys through the 4th time of the order, and they haven't had a hit since.
Here's Giovanni Alfonso now. He swings, fouls first pitch off, and the count 0-1. Alfonso was walked, and so for 3 otherwise. This might be one of the most dominating bullpen performances we've seen from High Point this year. Here's the 0-1. Fastball. Alfonso pops it up out of play, right field side 0-2.
Well, how about this? Gastonia is 0 for 19 since the single from Jake Romanski.
Yep, that's pretty good.
It's a pretty good night.
Pretty good for the Rockers anyways. Here's the 0-2 to Alfonso. That's a slow changeup down and away, and the count 0-2.
You can add in for good measure that they've struck out 8 times.
I'm going to correct that, count 1-2 to Alfonso. Even if Alfonso gets out here, the Rockers will finish the day 5 out of 8, or 5 out of 10 rather, with runners in scoring position. He swings, pokes this one weakly on the ground towards short. Amarista goes the short way to second. That retires Lattimore. Final out of the inning. The Rockers do in fact finish the day 5 out of 10 with runners in scoring position. Not a bad way to go here tonight. We go to the top of the 9th inning. Rockers lead it by 7. Joey Hennessy out for his 2nd inning of work, looking to nail down the W. That's coming up next. The Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Vinnie Mazzaro.
The Beamont School and Westchester Country Day School offer students the opportunity to grow and learn in a fun and competitive environment. For more information, visit each school's website to get your child started on the path to success today.
At Hype University, we are focused on preparing students for the world as it is going to be.
Hi, I'm Sid Martin, and I am proud to be High Point University's Sports Executive in Residence.
Top of the 9th inning, Joey Hennessy back out to try to finish this one off. Struck out the side in the 8th inning, and he'll deal with Tapia, Skoll, Pappy here in the top of the 9th.
For the Honey Hunters.
Rockers looking to finish the home set against Gastonia with the win, and they would finish. They're already going to end the season series with a winning record. They would be 9-3 at home against Gastonia with a win today. First pitch coming to Manuel Tapia, fastball up 1-0. However you want to slice it, with the Rockers looking at about to go to 15-7 against Gastonia on the year, round 1 of this in-state rivalry goes to High Point this year. First pitch, the 1-0 fastball comes inside, 2-0.
And credit Jamie Keefe and this coaching staff. This season series has come down to the Rockers pitching staff, and as we've seen all year long, they are one of, if not the best in the entire Atlantic League.
Here comes the 2-0. Swing and a miss, and the bat goes into the Rockers dugout. Manuel Tapia going to get it. Mitch Atkins is holding it out for him.
I think it's the Rockers' bat now.
I think that's got to be how that works, right?
It's got to be.
Tapia looked kind of sheepish going over to get it, kind of like he was embarrassed to be over there after about knocking somebody out.
That netting behind the Rockers' dugout is the only thing that prevented him from getting, the only reason he has that bat back. There's no netting there. Someone in the stands gets a free bat in the first row.
The rule ought to be if you get the bat, you get to swing it. Here's the 2-1. Tapia takes a strike. It was outside fastball, really couldn't do much with it. I think he was particularly thrilled with the strike call, though. 3 runs, 5 hits, and an error for Gastonia. 3 runs, check that, 10 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error for High Point. Here's the 2-2 coming to Tapia. Hennessy deals, and that's inside, count full. Well, today is the 20th 9-inning game played between the Rockers and Honey Hunters as Tapia swings and misses, strike 3. Joey Hennessy has struck out all 4 batters that he's faced. That'll bring up Jake Skoll, who's 1 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. This is the 20th 9-inning game between the Rockers and Honey Hunters this year. And this is the 15th of those that has gone 3+ hours.
Jake Skoll.
Jake Skoll, the batter. Hennessy with a hard slider at the top of the zone, strike 1. Rockers assumed first place in the Atlantic League 2 weeks ago. Broke a tie with Gastonia. Here's the pitch, slider down. The count 1-1. They had to take 2 out of 3 from the Honey Hunters at Ceremonial Health Park to get there. But once they did, they have not relinquished it yet. The lead has been as large as 3. It's currently sitting at 1, and that is all it will be going into tomorrow. Here's the 0-1 coming to Skoll. High fastball, chased it, and the count 0-2. Correction, count 1-2. Well, we've talked about it. I think it was Hennessy's last outing. The one thing that really troubles him is walks, but when hitters are chasing everything, their stuff plays really well. Curveball drops in, strike 3. Joey Hennessy, 5 consecutive strikeouts.
Hennessy's had 9 swings and misses, 4 called strikes, and it's every single pitch that's working.
I am 95% sure that is a team record, 5 consecutive strikeouts. I know for a fact if Hennessy gets another one, that will be the franchise record for most consecutive strikeouts by a pitcher. That's a fastball just inside,
Left
count
fielder
1-0.
Mike Poppy.
Pappy on the day has a double and a couple of strikeouts, both of the looking variety. Hennessy kicks and fires, fastball, that's a called strike, and the count 1-1. That high fastball for Hennessy has looked really good. And when you can complement it with that hard changeup there, the hard curveball that he throws and the slider that goes with it, kid's got some nasty stuff. Here's the 1-1. Slider, that's away. Doesn't get the call, count 2-1. This might be the first time Hennessy's been behind the hitter. Rockers 1 out away from winning the series. Here comes the 2-1. Fastball, swing and a miss. Pappy can't touch it. And the count 2-2. Hennessy 1 strike away from finishing it, setting the Rockers record for most consecutive strikeouts by a pitcher. If he can finish it off. Here it comes, the 2-2. Hennessy deals high fastball, kind of put a little extra mustard on it, but it was way up and away in the count full. See if they go back to the fastball or if he wants to go to that curveball again. Here comes the 3-2. Hennessy delivers curveball. That's popped up. Should do it. Michael Martinez pointing at it, calling for it. And that'll do it. Gastonia does not have a hit since the second inning, and the High Point Rockers bullpen plus Mitch Atkins absolutely dominate the Honey Hunter hitters tonight. Final score, Rockers 10, Honey Hunters 3. Stick around for the Richter's Grill postgame show. That's coming up next. The Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Baylor Auto.
Visit Richter's Grill, the official postgame hangout at High Point Rockers. Visit them tonight at 3815 Timothy Drive in High Point. Back to point to watch your favorite Rockers players go up against the West Virginia Power tomorrow, September 10th through Sunday, September 12th. Don't miss our spectacular 3D fireworks show you'll be watching the field tomorrow night, presented by Constant Heart and Vascular Health Center. Join us September 11th for our First Responders Night, presented by Ilderton Place with God's Jeep Ram, with a specialty jersey auction benefiting both Angels and Blues and the North Carolina Fallen Firefighters Foundation. Lastly, Sunday, September 12th is Superhero Day and Kids Run the Baby. Come and meet our special guest, Superwoman, Captain America, and Batwoman. It won't be a night you want to miss. We look forward to seeing you here at Truist Point all weekend. Thank you for your attendance here tonight. See you again tomorrow, and please drive home safely.
Welcome into the Rickster's Grill postgame show. Rickster's Grill is the official postgame hangout of the High Point Rockers. Visit them today, 3815 Tinsley Drive in High Point. Well's a big one tonight. The Rockers take down the Gastonia Honey Hunters 10-3. They win the series. They hang on to first place. It's win number 51 on what's turned into a really, really good season for the Rockers after this team was 18-23, and there were some concerns about whether or not this team had a legitimate shot to be a playoff contender, and they have proven that they're that and then some.
When you think about it, there was a point where they were 5 games under 500. Now they're 51-41. They're 20-12 in the second half, and they're just rolling on all cylinders. Another night with 10-plus runs against Gastonia, a team they've just beaten time after time after time. And the Rockers just keep on going. This is a team that will be a lot of fun to watch these next 7 games against West Virginia, that's for sure.
Well, the scoring got started, no surprise, by the visiting team. The Rockers have had a hard time scoring first recently, and the Gastonia Honey Hunters did get on the board to start things off. Luke Powell led off the game with a base hit. He came around and scored on a base hit from Ryan Cordell in the first inning, but the Rockers would grab 2 right back in the bottom of the frame. One coming in on a base hit from Jerry Downs, another on a sacrifice fly from Stephen Cardulo, and the Rockers took a 2-1 lead. In the second inning, 2 more come across for Gastonia. Jake Skoll reached on a double. He scores on a Mike Pappy single. Jake Romanski single would bring in Pappy, Pappy would score on an error, and Gastonia would regain the lead 3-2. But the Rockers get 2 right back in the bottom of that inning. 1 run comes across. Johnny Field picked up a triple. Field came in and scored on an errant throw from Emmanuel Tapia. So, as we call it, the Little League home run, it was a triple, and he comes home on the error. And the Rockers took a 4-3 lead, a lead which they would never relinquish. In the third inning, a couple runners aboard. Quincy Lattimore launched a line drive home run over the left field wall. Rockers extend their lead to 7-3 at that point. And for good measure, they add 2 more in the fourth inning. One comes in on the sacrifice fly from Jerry Downs, an RBI single from Stephen Cardulo. Makes it then 9-3, and the Rockers would add their final run in the 5th inning. That would be when Michael Russell stepped up. James McGowan stepped up and hit a base hit. No, it was Michael Russell, I'm sorry. Michael Russell, a single. His first RBI since returning from the injured list. That brought in Jay Gonzalez. Rockers with a 10-3 advantage, and offensively, that was all of the scoring. But you got to give a lot of credit to this Rockers bullpen. They don't give up a hit since the second inning. Joey Hennessy strikes out 5 hitters in a row, including 5 out of the last 6 batters he faced. Rockers completely dominate after the second inning and win it 10-3.
I mean, it was just an all-around performance from the Rockers. Final time of the game, 3 hours and 8 minutes. The final attendance, 1,616, the largest of the series. It's time to go around the Atlantic League one final time, brought to you by Ginny Morrow Cruise Planners. 2 finals in York. Game 1 went to the Rebs, 9-8 the final in 11 innings. The winning pitcher for York was Alberto Rodriguez. Blake Galen the loss. Victor Capellan, his second save of the season. Isaac Sanchez gets the win in Game 2, 5-4 the final. Revs over the Barnstormers in 8. Gabriel Moya the loss. Jim Fuller, his 22nd save of the year. The Power keep pace with the Rockers, 5-4 the final in 10 innings. Mike Broadway the win. Austin Adams the loss. Eliardo Cabrera, his first save of the season. Final in 7 on Long Island. The Ducks behind Anderson De Leon get the win 4-1. De Leon improves to 5-4. Colonel Bryce the loss falls to 3-4. Tomorrow around the Atlantic League, York and Southern Maryland, a doubleheader starting at 5 o'clock. Long Island and Lancaster lock horns at 6:30. Gastonia and Lexington start their 7-game set at 6:31. And the Power and Rockers start their 7-game set at 7:05 at Truist Point.
So many postseason implications over the span of the next 6 days. There's a very good chance that the playoff picture starts to clear itself up a little bit by the end of the next week. Rockers improved to 51-41 overall. They improved to 20-12 in the second half. They're the only team in the Atlantic League to notch 20 wins in the second half so far. Gastonia falls to 43-48. They drop to 16-17 in the second half, now 4.5 behind the Rockers. Mitch Atkins picks up the win, improves to 2-1 on the year. John Anderson takes the loss in his Atlantic League debut this season after returning to Mexico, so he falls to 0-1. Time to hand out a game ball for today, and I kind of just want to give it to the whole bullpen, but if somebody could kind of encompass what the bullpen did in a microcosm, it's got to be Joey Hennessy. Pitched 2 innings, struck out 5 of the 6 batters he faced, and that is really just the best definition and example of a bullpen that was completely dominant tonight.
100% agree with you. Joey Hennessy was the best we've seen him all year long. Ryan Chaffee continued his dominance. Joe Johnson looked good. And we talked about it going into the 9th inning. Gastonia hadn't had a hit since the 2nd inning. They finished the day going 0 for 22 from the Boog Powell's second time up on, and they completely just get dominated out of the back end.
Got to give an honorable mention, though, to Michael Russell. Comes back his first game in over a month of play, reaches base 3 times, a couple of hits, a double, and an RBI, and a run scored. Michael Russell came back and he didn't miss a beat. He came right in, and he did exactly what we have come to know, love, and expect from Michael Russell. Tomorrow night, the Rockers take on the West Virginia Power for the first of a crucial 3 games at Truist Point before the scene shifts to Charleston, West Virginia for 4 more there. But tomorrow night, 7:05 first pitch. It's fireworks night. Watch the fireworks from the field with 3D glasses after the ball game. How cool is that going to be? But first pitch tomorrow night is at 7:05. We're on air at MixLR at 6:30. YouTube on 6:50. Javik, final thoughts here tonight as the Rockers finish their home series against the Honey Hunters.
I mean, this is everything the Rockers have been looking for the last couple of games. The offense comes up in a big way, almost creates a phone number with how they scored the first 5 innings. Mitch Atkins, after the shaky first inning, was terrific in the bullpen. Chaffee, Johnson, and Hennessy. These are guys who are not thought of as your Tier 1 guys. They are not the dull Brazobans and Halbons out of the back end in big situations. And they were just as good, which means this team in a 3-game set, oh boy, you better watch out.
Big thing that stood out to me tonight, this was a team that maybe while the confidence wasn't shattered last weekend in West Virginia, it definitely took a hit, and they really needed to come out against Gastonia and fix things in a big way, and that's exactly what they did. Put up 10 runs the first game, were kind of stymied yesterday, but they came back today with a vengeance. Offensively dominated, defensively dominated, pitching dominated, and just really all around domination today from the Rockers, which is what they needed going forward with West Virginia coming into town. These are 2 red-hot teams that are meeting here on the grounds of Truist Point tomorrow. Tomorrow night is a ball game you do not want to miss. 7:05 first pitch. We're on air again at MixLR at 6:30, 6:50. We go on YouTube. That'll do it for us tonight. Final score, the High Point Rockers 10, the Gastonia Honey Hunters 3, and the Rockers defend their 1-game lead of first place. For everyone down in the control room and the Rockers Baseball Network and Javik Blake, I'm Kendrick Fruit saying have a rockin' evening, catch your breath, and get ready for big-time baseball this weekend.